Righty. Well, welcome back, everyone, to Team of Annihilation. And so we can go ahead and get this started. And we got, and we have our two paladins, so things should be all right now. So. Okay. So, welcome back to those of you who were here before. Welcome back to the Swindler's Den, a space between spaces where stories of all kinds come and clash together, where their tellers and their players get to interact, relax, and have a drink after a hard day's work. You'll probably remember Talon, your humble storyteller, and such who is still sitting amongst the rest of you, and he just kind of wrapped up the first part of his this newest tale that he's been giving the rest of you. As you all sit there, though, you watch as a couple more people sit down next to you. It's none other than Corey and Ark themselves, and looks up and says, so we have more people here who are keen to hear the tale, I suppose. Well, go ahead and sit down and I'll do somewhat of a recap then. When we left off with our humble little party here, we'd all met under some rather peculiar circumstances within the walls of Port Nyanzaru, the last great cities and bastions of Chult. Now, we did run into a little bit of trouble here and there, didn't we? I get chased out of the city, ran off into the jungle. Maybe not the wisest move, but we'll certainly see where it goes from there. Now, to you two, newest denizens of the rest of us, kindly tell us, if you will, where do you reckon, or how long do you reckon you have been able to put up with each other's shit so far? And I'll just drop into one thing that's been ever present for
It's just me as our DM currently muted.
Oh, yeah. CT?
CT?
Tell him, don't die!
I'm trying not to. There we go.
Okay.
Where did I leave you?
Thought I DC'd for a second
The
there.
beginning.
The start over.
One thing that's always stated. Yeah, let's go from the beginning.
Okay, one thing that's always stayed around is bugs, sweat, more bugs, and the occasional undead denizen of this hellhole that you guys have gonna drag yourselves into. Cyrus, if you'd like to go ahead and describe your character for us, what people would see when they look at you.
6'7" wood elf, palish complexion, smooth features, and green eyes, like bright green eyes.
Okay, what about how do you, what kind of person would they see you sort of as, with how you're armored up?
Some easy double check. There's my nice chainmail, a little bit glistening, but not too over glamorized. Just simple chainmail.
Okay. And you, Gethin, what do people see when they look at you?
Tall man, stocky, about 6'6", with a gruff black beard, black ruffed hair, and polished steel chainmail. Having what looks like in his pack the furs from potentially a colder climate that he's packed with him, but he's not using them because we're in the jungle.
Alright. And between the two of you, either of you holding one of his arms over your shoulders, is this fella here. You've known him for a few days. This here is Dalton. He was assigned as your group's leader during your little patrol around the jungle from Camp Vengeance. He's not in a particularly good shape, especially with the fact now that he's kind of missing a leg. That's the brightest part of his situation at the moment.
Is there any way we can turn down the audio for the D&D? Because it's extremely loud for me. There we go.
It's under settings. You can turn down master music volume.
Yeah, you can probably just go into volume mixer and turn it down in your browser too.
That's true.
Well, it seems like he's turned it down himself, so...
Yeah,
less
might
like
control it. Yeah. Just let me know if anything is too noisy for anyone. Dalton kind of has his arm over either of your shoulders, and as you guys are walking along, just kind of looks up at you, Cyrus. You know, I never really liked elves all that much. You're all right. I mean, you're a bit of a bastard, and a quiet one at that. But you're all right.
And you're a lazy asshole.
Who are you calling a lazy arsehole, you?
My commanding officer. That's unfortunately a human.
Fair enough. Can't say I was expecting much else from you. And you, lad, he kind of looks up at you, Gethin. Surprised you haven't dropped me by now. You're the sort of fellow I thought would have taken charge of everything. After what's happened so far. Thought you'd have left me to die.
I think it's best if you just shut up and maintain your strength.
I suppose you're right. Oh, can't be that much further to Nianzaru, surely. I'm starting to lose I think I'm losing a bit too much blood, if I'm being perfectly frank.
Well, just don't move too much.
And he kind of looks at his situation, looks at you. I don't think I've got much of a choice there, do I? Oh, god damn.
Fair enough.
Oh, I could use some Tej right about now. And, after a while, you guys, continue making your way through the jungle to a point where both of you roll me a survival check.
How do I do that exactly?
Go to your character sheet, and you should see under skills, there'll be survival.
I got a 3 out of 15.
No, you got a 15.
Oh, okay. I got a 15.
Alright. Gethin?
Says under skills, right?
Yeah, it's at the bottom of our skills. Just click on it and it should pop up in...
Alright, so I got a 5, right?
Yes, you did.
Hmm.
So Getting all this looks the same to you. You feel like you guys have passed through this place at least twice, if not 3 times. Whereas you, Cyrus, you've got a bit more of a mind, like where you come from in Aldenwood, a lot of the forest looks a lot like this, like everything looking the same, but yeah, there's very clear details you're able to pick out. You're not certain on where you're going, but you know that you're keeping a steady course in the right-ish direction. From the looks of it, you are still traveling north towards Nyanzaro, as you were originally intending.
I feel we're going in the right direction. Should keep heading forward. Please.
I think we've already been through here before.
Of course
Are
you
you
were.
sure?
You're a human. Of course you were. You're a human. Yes, I'm sure. I'm an elf.
Fine. We'll follow your lead for now.
Good.
It's at that point you guys hear, through the jungle brush, you just hear, just out in the distance, just this sudden, followed by a series of other sort of shouts, as well as what can only really describe as almost like a honking kind of noise, followed by another smaller roar.
We should probably go and see what dumbasses decided to poke fun at some of these awesome animals in this jungle.
I don't think we're going to have to go anywhere. I think they're going to come for us.
Well, of course you would think that. But I think we should go investigate.
Fine. Let's see just how well you know the woods.
Gladly. Stupid human.
So, for our original party, it's been about 2 hours since you guys wandered out of Port Nyanzaru and out into the wilderness. And the minute you guys walked into the depths of the jungle, for most of you, this was a completely different world. There's not a lot here else besides trees, bugs, and occasionally you guys are able to catch some movement of what you assume are monkeys moving about in the trees, but there's no way of knowing for certain.
About half an hour out of the city, I curl up on a box and go to sleep. My cloak still billowing gloriously behind me.
You curl up on top of it?
Yeah.
Okay. You curl up on the box, and your 3 retainers, Snacks, Snucks, and Snacks, continue hefting the box around, and one of them, Snacks, he kind of, more times than the rest of them, keeps wiping his brow. You wouldn't have expected a kobold to sweat, but somehow this jungle hates doing it to him.
How high are the trees in this jungle?
I'd say probably about, well, depends on the particular tree, but they're anywhere between 20, 30 feet high or so. That's some of them, and this is just the lighter layers of the jungle.
Oh, just the lighter layers. So
well,
not
this is you guys, entering in there for a few hours, but you can, from what you were able to see in kind of the times that you flew up into the air in Nyanzaru, the jungle just keeps getting thicker as it goes goes further off into the mist.
All right, so while the party's moving, I'm just up in the air looking for any danger ahead.
You up above the canopy?
Sorry.
Kind of under the canopy.
Under the canopy? Okay.
Yeah.
So you're kind of staying a bit ahead or so?
Yeah, I'd say so, yeah.
Okay. While you guys are walking along, Matsu, you feel a little tug at your side, and beside you is your brother, and kind of looks up and says, "So, when do we ditch these guys? Like, take their stuff? Is that still the plan?"
course it's the plan. Oh, hush. And then while they're lagging behind the group, Mati is wandering around, picking up herbs as she goes.
Is there any kind of sort of stuff you're looking for in particular? Or
Yes.
just picking up whatever you find?
She's finding things to help with the preservation of meat, and she's also finding various medicinal herbs.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a survival check. Actually, no, make that a nature check. Okay. Okay. So as you kind of passively kind of crouch down and just pluck up a few leaves and roots and other herbs as you're making your way through. You've got some knowledge of some of the stuff that grows around these parts, and you end up getting about two doses of Mohennis leaf, and you also get 3 doses of Douglisian's rest. So you go ahead and add those to your inventory, and they are essentially the Douglisian's rest is in particular usually grounded up and rubbed over food. Usually, it's most effective when it's been boiled. Whereas the
I know you showed me
Mohennian
this
leaf.
before. Sorry. Is it
It's all
under equipment? Or
yeah, you can go ahead and put it under there, or you can put it under your notes if you really want to. Up to you.
I'll just add it to my notes and keep track.
Okay. So, and then Mohennian leaf. While it can be used as a preservative, it's also had I heard that much.
And my master is he's a man who just is evil.
And he just says, "Oh, it's pretty wild, bro," and just kind of falls back in with his sister.
God damn it.
Someone's got to do it. And while the rest of you are walking, Russ, if you could go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Alright. There it is.
You can see it through the jungle well before everyone else can hear it. Flashes of brightly coloured scales moving in and amongst some of the trees, as well as same screeching sounds, which you guys had heard at a distance before, but you'd kind of just thought of it as sounds of the jungle, but now they're louder, they're much clearer. They are honks, screeches, and though some of them follow a particular pattern, there's one which just sounds like a series of rabid snarls and lashing out, like almost the sound of like a caged animal.
All right.
Meanwhile, Brock,
Starts
you are
to,
dreaming about the stick.
walks over
It is
to
a
As soon
fine
as
stick.
I see it, I let out a caca, sound the alarm to the party below.
What is it?
What is it?
It is I'm not sure, but it looks reptilian.
Walks over and pokes at Brock. Hey, you. Cop. Moxie starts to point in a direction of the jungle and then slashes a finger across her throat.
He jumps up on the box, spryly, starts pointing vigorously in the direction.
And Snacks double up their pace. Poor Snacks starts sweating a lot more. And just Indraconic just kind of mutters, "Oh, I hate this job."
Oh, poor thing.
I lightly rap him on the head with my staff.
Oh, never mind, I love it. Alright. And so at this point, you guys can hear kind of the sounds of flowing water, and from the sounds of it, you guys are nearing one of Cholt's numerous rivers that flow through the area. I can get Tess and Matzi to roll me I think it's a history check.
One thing.
That's your second one.
Oh no, it's more of like a local knowledge sort of thing. But
You would, actually, never mind.
if it has popped up in any kind of talks you've had in the past, Tess, you've completely forgotten about it. Whereas you, Matsu, you've got a decent idea where you are. You're somewhere along the edges of the river Tirki, which is one of two rivers that kind of flow out into the ocean from either side of Nyanzaru.
I've heard of this river before.
And
Don't remember it. What is it?
Tieski? I think?
Tirki, so T-I-R
Tieski? So
T-I-R-Y-K-I.
I think I heard some of the merchants talking while, Patsy was sleeping around. I think I heard some of the merchants talking about a river called Tirki. And I believe it flows to somewhere in Nyanzaru? Towards it? Away from it? I can't remember.
Okay.
At this point, Brock jumps down off the box, walks over to the water's edge, and begins to relieve himself.
And thus, kobold feces.
No, number one.
Okay.
He's not completely uncultured, thank you.
The river runs very briefly with the bright yellow of kobold piss before it actually just kind of fades off, and kind of a splash of a fish somewhere upstream, which you don't really take any mind of it, but you like to think it's a kind of the fish saying "fuck you" and you pissed it off.
Okay.
As you guys continue to press through, you eventually come to probably about a 10-foot slope, like a rapidly declining slope next to the river, and into a small clearing. Whereas Gethin and Cyrus, you guys pass through the trees, and you come upon the same site. And you see these large, though they haven't looked like they've been ornately carved like a lot of traditional Cholton things have been. These stones were clearly placed here for a specific reason, and you see in the center a small the only way to describe it is a small lizard's head poking out of the ground, kind of constantly trying to turn around and lash out at these three much larger reptiles who probably stand about 6 feet or so at their maximum height. These long, curved claws on their toes, bright feathers on their arms and on their heads. Just kind of shriek and honk at this creature. And occasionally they try to get in close, but the head just kind of turns around and lashes out. And they kind of jump back and they look more as if they're toying with it more than anything.
I jump down off my box.
Can I, would
Are
Tess,
these the beasts? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Tess would know what these are. Could I do an animal check?
Go ahead and make a nature check, yeah, with advantage. Ooh, natural 20. You know exactly what these are. They are commonly, for the most part, referred to just simply as raptors. The traditional name of them has never been of any great importance to Cholton society, but these are very commonly used in the dinosaur races as well as in the executioner's run and the arena. These are much larger versions of the velociraptors that are used quite a lot, especially in the arena. These ones are actually being able to be ridden, and from what you know, they usually hunt in packs larger than 3.
These look dangerous.
Okay, so are these the beasts I had spotted earlier, or are they new
They
ones?
are, yes. They are the same
Okay.
flashes of brightly colored scales.
How do they look
Tess
like
The
they
exact
taste?
same,
Sorry, go on.
or different ones?
What was that, sorry?
The exact same or different ones?
Oh, no, these are the same. Like, this is what you spotted.
Okay.
How do they taste?
You have
Okay.
Chicken?
no idea, but I'm sure you can find out.
Okay,
Well,
so Tess leans
meanwhile-
down to the ground near the cliff, just whispers under her breath.
what did she whisper?
Raptors, pretty much. Like, raptors. Like, very
I
shocked and kind of weary.
sort of look at you, cock my head to one side, go.
Meanwhile, other side of the clearing, Gethin and Cyrus, you guys kind of heft Dalton, and still in amongst some of the trees, you peer out and you are able to see, same sight, these large, brightly colored reptiles. You guys have seen a couple of them running around on your patrols. You've never really had as much of a problem with them, but you look now and see them, and you see the creature sitting, like, kind of buried up to his neck, just kind of thrashing around, and Dalton kind of goes, "Huh. Oh, that's not something you see every day, is it now? I think we're just
So-
playing a game."
Can I do a survival check
What for?
to see the chances of survival if they spot me?
I'm gonna say roll a wisdom check instead.
Fine.
I'm going to intentionally fail my wisdom check and shoot the closest one because I'm somewhat curious what they taste like. And Marty did the whole throat and point thing.
I got 11.
You trust in the lady to protect you.
Wait, what?
I'm not with her.
Oh God.
You're gone. Anywho,
All right.
Which-
So
which-
is Dalton being carried by Cyrus or
both
myself?
of you. He's got an arm over either of your shoulders.
All right. So I toss the full weight of Dalton onto Cyrus, and hang on, I should do this in character. Here, hold this. I'm
Why do I have
hungry.
to? Why do I have to hold?
It was your idea to bring an injured man here. Stay here.
Well, I couldn't just leave the dumbass behind.
You're the one who brought him. Stay with him.
Do you even know what that is?
Food. And that's all that matters.
Stupid
He's thinking
human.
the same thing I am.
Stupid human thinking all animals are food.
Okay. In that case, if we're running out, I'll get everyone to roll initiative then.
Oh, God.
A surprise
First,
round's not a thing in 5th ed.
It is, but I suppose it doesn't matter. Are you guys wanting to charge in and keep stealth, or are you guys wanting to I suppose you do actually have surprise over these
Matsu's
creatures.
just gonna hang back. She's got food.
I got a 5, by the way, but I forgot to click my character.
I totally just deleted my thingy anyway.
Before we
I get
start
right at-
rolling initiative, I want to see look closer at the thing they're harassing, the Raptors.
Okay.
To
roll.
find initiative arc at the top where it says armor class. Yeah. Click on your character
okay.
first before you press it.
You roll a perception check, Ross.
So you click on my character first?
Done.
Or
I suppose
Yeah,
I'll
click
go
on your
ahead
character.
and
I saw
roll
that.
initiative just
You-
for the
It
heck of it.
looks like another one of these dinosaur creatures. You feel like it's just been buried and left here by some cruel individuals. Okay, so we will, since I suppose we do actually have the surprise round. Gethen and Vrak, whose character has disappeared.
Yeah, accidentally deleted it. Sorry.
How does it everyone accidentally delete their character?
This is the first time I've done it.
No, but every time. How do you accidentally hit the delete key?
Because
And
I was
delete them.
selecting those lines that I drew to delete them and had accidentally selected my character as well.
Is
So
there
what
were
does the
the
initiative?
that?
What does the initiative score mean?
Yeah.
That's the order of combat, basically. So like your turn, their turn, etc.
So far I'm first.
Well, we've got Gethen
No,
and
who's going?
Vrak. If there's anyone else who, because you guys technically all have the drop on these creatures. If you guys want to do something in the surprise round,
I'll do something in a
I'm-
surprise round. Why not?
Can
Well-
we change my initiative to my first roll since I forgot to select the token?
Yeah,
Or
can
does
you
that
do the
just
same with
not
mine?
count?
No, I got
you get
21.
originally cast at 5.
5.
There you go.
Okay.
I think I'm
So-
21, but does it show up in that list?
What you got? You got
I
21?
got no. Carrie.
Oh, okay. Select this. Okay. Out of turn.
Okay, so while you're sorting out turn order, Tess
Okay,
turns to all of them and just looks at them all like ready, like she can see in their eyes that she's ready. They're ready to attack, and she just turns to him and be like, "Hold on. Do you know what these creatures are?"
No.
You're not
Wait.
Corey.
Oh, okay.
Punch.
Do you know what these are, Ras?
I've never seen them before.
Well, I have. They're called Raptors. They hunt in packs no larger than this. And they're taller than normal.
I'm gonna get clever girl, don't I?
Well, they look nice and plump and fat. Could feed us
If we
all
are
of
to do
us.
something, we have to be strategic.
They
What
look
would you
dangerous.
suggest?
We should be careful.
We need to work as a team.
I have to work with Ross.
Yes.
So I'm kind of looking at you and nodding as you say this. And then when you finish the sentence, I shoot. That's my surprise round.
Seeing as everyone's wanting to do something who is everyone wanting to do something for the surprise round?
I don't know what it entails.
The surprise round is basically you are attacking them without them reacting. And then I'm going
Okay.
to roll their initiative, and then after that, it's figured out whether you guys will go next or them.
Okay, hold on. Let me.
So you could effectively get 2 turns in before
Yeah,
having to
I-
respond.
I'm
I
in.
think I'll
Plus,
go
I have
for
my
the
stealth.
surprise round.
We'll go we'll go on initiative for those who are wanting to do surprise, in which case we've got Matzi.
Mm-hmm. So, I suppose going to attack. I still don't know how to use this interface. What is this? What is this? Ah. Suppose I'm going to attack. God. What? Still can't use this.
So the speed mechanic, does that the amount of area
That's
that
the-
you can cover, right?
Yeah, that's the amount of, so like you can move 30 feet up to there in a turn.
How do you find that out?
How do you find out your speed?
Yeah.
It's in your racial thing, so you, I think, already have.
30. 30 for
Actually,
now.
Alright.
you're a wood elf. I think you might actually have a little bit more.
I have 35 speed.
Yeah, I thought so.
Really?
Oh.
Nice.
Yes, they be nimble. Alright, anyway, Matsi, what were you wanting to do?
Well, if I can figure out how to use this stupid
What are you trying to do?
What are you trying to use?
draw an arrow to the one I want to fight.
Oh, just like say if you want to do this one, just hold click and say I'm just gonna draw an arrow and attack this one. So just hold your mouse cursor and you can do that.
Okay, so that one.
Okay, so how you want to attack? You're just using,
Well, I mean, I
Hey,
have, I'm gonna have to use stealth a little bit, right? Or... It's a surprise attack,
if you're
right?
wanting to move up any further, then yes, but you don't necessarily need to sneak. Like you could just fire off your shot now if you really wanted.
I'll shoot him with an arrow.
Have we noticed the other group?
No,
They're still
have not
in the
noticed each
woods.
other yet.
So, I guess I'll use my short
Have they
bow.
noticed us?
Because we're on top of a cliff face.
Cyrus and Gethin, go ahead and roll a perception check for me. Just to see if you guys have noticed the other party. Elven eyes locked on. Gethin's only thinking of lunch at this point. So Cyrus, you don't have enough time to tell Gethin this before he will go out there, but you kind of look up and you just kind of see moving around the top, and first thing you see is the kobolds, and you get very confused and you think you're about to be under attack, and then you see the other two.
Each square, how much distance is that again?
Oh, and that Ark, if that's the case, roll perception again,
Okay.
just to see if yeah, no, you haven't. You've really the only thing you're picking up right now is what's happening in front of you, as well as
Okay.
the heavy blood loss from Dalton beside you. Okay, so Matsu, you're wanting to just shoot them with your bow?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead and make a bow attack. Just click on it. A fine hit on this one right here. Just double check which health he's got. Right, the damn thing here. There we go.
One
Okay,
thing.
so go ahead and roll damage. So just click on the short bow, fit in that box.
Can
So
I
we're
say
not
that-
taking the 7 plus 4, it's just 7. Okay, so take 7 damage.
Who's drawing
Raz. Can I say is anyone else's turn order thing like messed up?
Yeah. Goes 21,
Kind of
14,
making with my
5,
OCD.
4,
Yeah,
5.
hang on. Descending. There you go.
Thank you.
It's really bothering me.
It was bothering me.
Anyhow, next up, Cyrus. You've
still
watched
confused
the
as
person
to-
kind of.
What happened to the raptor exactly?
Oh, you kind of stand up just that little bit more, string your bow, arrow comes flying through the air, and you just hear this as it kind of takes the impact. It starts trying to dig it out. It hasn't really picked up that you are the one attacking. It just feels like it's been stabbed by this small wooden creature.
What is melee range out of curiosity? How close do I have to be?
5 feet.
5 feet.
Unless you've got
Unless
a
you,
ranged
have
weapon.
unless you have a weapon with reach, like a spear or something,
Jousting, like lance, whatever they're called.
or a glaive.
Yeah, glaive.
All right, Cyrus, you'll go.
Okay. Javelins, how far can I throw them?
What does it say on the range?
Just says attack F+4.
It should say an effective range on it. Yeah, its effective range is 30 feet. So you can throw one, but you will take disadvantage on the throw because you're outside the effective range. So they have within 30 feet, you can make a normal attack with them. Outside of that, up to 120 feet, you have to roll with disadvantage.
I'll try and throw one.
Okay. Who are you aiming at?
This one. How do I see?
Just
The top one closest to the rock.
there's one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alrighty. Go ahead, make your attack. Whoa. Okay.
Oh, damn.
So with disadvantage, I mean that's not the natural 20, but that's still pretty good. Okay, roll damage.
Where's damage?
Just click javelin underneath what's happened. And just click the javelin name in that box. There you go. Okay, so 5 damage.
I'm not upset with that.
Yeah, no. You throw out the javelin, and you all kind of watch as this small spear just comes flying out of the jungle and into the other raptor, who also kind of shrieks. And at this point, the raptors kind of have a look around. They know something's up. They're having a look around, and meanwhile, the creature in the center still kind of just kind of lashing out at the rest of them. Russ.
Alright. Seeing as those two raptors have been shot and hit with a javelin, I'm going to aim at if it'll let me ping.
Use the cursor one at the top. Like your top.
Oh, that's
section.
right. This one right here. Going to lock an arrow in my bow. Actually, I think I will get a little closer first.
Okay.
Just to line up my shot here.
So you're going there, or
Yes.
are you walking or flying?
Flying, of course.
How high up?
Maybe about 15 feet.
2 feet. Okay. So you kind of take off the ground. The rest of you all, like all the leaves and shrubbery around you, kind of gets sort of blown around as Russ takes off and just kind of hovers. And to this point, Geffen, you can now definitely see the Birdman hovering in the center of the clearing. And Dalton just kind of sits there, just like, huh, would you look at that? Chicken. And
Looks like we've got company.
Can I
I
do
will consider the fact that you've kind of gone flying in and brought the attention that the surprise round is probably over at this point. But go ahead and still make your attack. I'll just roll these
Surprise
guys.
round happens simultaneously.
Yes, I know, but I'm rolling with a little bit of homebrew stuff right now, considering.
Beautiful.
God
Way to go, Lanks.
What the fuck is with you guys' rolls? You're rolling too good. Roll damage.
Wait for me, don't worry.
She'll
Blades
get
will
to.
fuck it up.
God, which one are you shooting?
This one, I think he said. If it will work. This
Yeah.
one.
This one.
That
No,
one.
this
back.
one.
Okay.
Yeah. The one that
Up
hasn't
the
been
air,
shot yet.
pull out the longbow, hefting it back. Raptor takes it straight in the chest and just kind of gets knocked to the ground, just kind of pulls it out with its mouth, spits it off to the side, stands back up, gives a little roar. Alright, next up, we will keep the surprise thing going considering this. Okay, Tess.
Can I roll something quickly?
What do you want to do?
I want to do an insight to see that they're not attacking, like the other party.
I'll say that for your turn.
Okay.
Alright, Tess.
Nothing I can do. You know what? I was gonna cast. No, I wouldn't do that. I have a useless character, but I love it to death.
It's the song of your people.
I was going to do Bardic Inspiration, but I don't think we need it right now. Follow me. How far is that? Hold on. Nearby. Kind of want to do speaking with animals. And see if I can work out, because obviously the beast in the middle is lashing out these raptors. I kind of want to see what it's thinking. Like what it's saying.
Okay.
That way we can know if we can attack it or not. So I'm going to roll that. So, what do I need to roll again?
It's basically you being able to read their kind of thoughts and emotions, and you kind of
Should I do a perception?
You reach
or?
out and try and kind of touch the creature's consciousness, but it's blocked. You cannot perceive anything about them besides their clear, visible display of aggression towards the raptors.
Okay, that's one spell gone. You might just occasionally see me just bring up spells so I can read them, because I can't be bothered pressing the thingy anymore.
Okay, so that was your action.
Yeah.
Next, Geffen.
So I'm gonna. You said you can dash, right?
You can. That takes up your action.
That's fine. I'm dashing right here. I'm assuming that the raptors are gonna be distracted by Ras. So I'm gonna take the time to move here, which takes up my turn, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, and then finally Vrock.
Alright, so. Yeah, I screeched and attacked from when Tess was like, I mean, there might be more.
Like,
Well, you said the surprise round happens sort of simultaneously, right? So when Tess is like, she said something along the lines of,
Yeah,
bigger
they
than this. At which point I screeched and shot Eldritch Energy out of my fingertip.
which one? You should know.
The top one. One next
Okay.
weapon.
Go ahead and make the attack.
I swear, if you kill this thing before I have a chance to strike it, I'm gonna be pissed.
Oh, it doesn't actually let me. Oh.
Yeah, you gotta make the ranged spell attack. It should come up under your attacks in your box thing, I think, like along with your weapon attacks.
Yeah, it's not there. I'll have to figure out how to add it later.
Yeah. Alright, so just go ahead and roll a 1d20 plus your info. That is definitely a hit. Alright, go ahead and roll the damage.
Boop.
Alright. Brock kind of sliding down the little ditch, kind of raises up his hand. You'll watch. This crackling energy erupts out of his hand and goes shooting through into the clearing, past you, Russ, and you watch Gethin as this raptor is suddenly hit with this, this pulse of energy, and almost goes flying back into you. As he kind of hits you, kind of turns around, and sees you, and just snarls right at you, and just kind of gets into a pouncing position. So surprise is over, and now I'm going to go ahead and roll their initiative. Oh dear. Okay. So Raptors go first.
Oh shit.
Yeah, then the fucking Discord notifications. Can I read my roll 20 rolls? Okay. Oh, wait.
What is?
Anyway, so Gethin, Raptor turns around. All three of them kind of eye you up now that you've run in so close to them all.
Sounds good to me.
The first one's going to go ahead and attack you. It's going to make.
What's their
I
roll?
might actually die.
Don't die.
Don't die, please don't die.
What a fool. What is he doing down there?
Okay, so he's gonna go ahead and make one bite attack. That is a miss. And he's
You're
gonna
still-
go ahead and make 2 claw attacks.
Oh,
Does that hit?
No.
Oof.
Wait, what's
I'm
your
assuming-
armor class?
That one hits.
Yeah.
If you're
18?
wearing full plate.
Now use chainmail and shield. No, you haven't got a shield out right now. do
What's
you?
your armor class? Like 18?
I should. Wait, no, because I can't pull my weapons, right?
No, you've got your weapon out if you want. Like you've
Okay.
run in and you've drawn the sword. Like that just counts as like a little side thing that you do as you run in.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, 18. Oh
Mhm.
shit. Okay.
Which is one of the reasons I ran in.
Okay, so
How much damage is that?
you take 6 slashing damage.
Ouch.
are you squishy?
For level 1, we're all squishy.
Yeah. I
Fair
might
enough.
die.
What's your hit dice? Hit roll? What it fucking called?
Hip
Hit points?
Hit points, that's it.
I think
That's what.
is everybody 10?
No,
No, I'm 9.
I'm 12.
10.
You're a D10 though as a paladin, right? Or is it D8?
D10, I believe.
Yep.
So you should have 10 plus your Constitution modifier and hit points.
I have no Constitution modifier.
You are, it's 10.
Okay. Meanwhile, so the raptor here is taking the shot. It sees you, Ras, and he's going to kind of go around the head to about there.
Hmm?
Yeah, he's going to stand next to this raptor, and he's just going to eye you, Ras, and he's going to kind of wait for you to come down and pounce. Whereas this one is going to come around. He is going to cop an opportunity attack from the buried creature.
The head gets an attack of opportunity. I love it.
Yep.
Remind me too, if I ever have a castle, instead of a moat, have just lots of things buried up to their head.
Who's yours? Which one is mine? Okay. Plus. This is. Which he barely hits, goddamn. Yeah, as the raptor kind of is running around towards you, all of a sudden, just you all watch it screeches out as the head is kind of it just starts nomming on its leg and just holds it kind of in place. And the two of them start kind of clawing at each other. But it is close enough that he is going to make his attacks against you, Jed, or Gathin, I should say.
Rip Gethin.
I know I'm
Got
dead.
it.
It was nice not meeting you.
Okay. We'll do is to
Better hope it's
the claw
under at
attacks
18.
first. That one. Or
Oh no!
that's a natural 20.
Yeah, you're
The
dead.
other one is.
I'm dead.
The other one's okay. The other one's okay. You might be okay here.
Alright.
I'm
Might.
not gonna be. I'm getting my luck.
1d8
Come on.
plus.
Do like natural
2.
20 saving roll.
We gotta roll a 2d8.
Oh,
So crit
no.
that, so he just,
No.
Okay.
I just got
Is
killed
it-
twice over.
You
That
like I
fool's
said,
gonna get
how many
himself
points?
killed.
If you're going negative on your hit points, how many are you on now?
If I go negative,
Yeah.
I am negative 7.
Negative 5, 7.
Oh, you lucky bastard. Okay, you
Yeah,
are
not
not. You are
instantly.
unconscious right now. So you count as you count as being unconscious. Raptor kind of uses last attack, trying to whack off there. Okay, whack off probably wasn't the best word there.
the hammer pulled you up.
And then he's going to attack the head. Misses somehow, despite it being a head.
How does a 12 miss the head?
I don't know. It just has. I've even minused a bit off of his armor class, and yet he still misses.
What?
Well, if you're immobile, your dexterity doesn't add to your armor class.
This isn't his dexterity.
Oh no.
Anyhow.
Is that it's a dragon's head, isn't it? If that's a dragon buried underground, and that's just like
It's
the
not.
iceberg, I swear to
Not
God.
likely a dragon. Anyhow, Raptor's turn is over back to the top of the round, which is
One of the raptors didn't act.
he's just kind of looking at Russ, because he's taken a arrow to the chest and is just kind of waiting for Russ to come down.
Arrow to the knee.
Yeah, I'm not going
Right,
anywhere.
Matsu.
Come on, Matsu.
I'm fine. It's just a flesh wound.
Quick question: when is a bonus action just with your turn, or can that be done anytime?
If the bonus action is specifically like a reaction or a holding of that action, you can
Bardic
use it then,
inspiration.
but... No, that's something you have to do on your turn.
Okay, just want to make sure because I know there's some things that you can do, but never mind.
Oh.
Continue.
Raz is kind of in my way.
He's in the
No,
air.
he's 15
flying
feet up in
above.
the air.
He's flying.
You can run by him if you need to.
Well, how far can I move?
You can move 30 feet. You can dash to double your movement speeds, but you can't take an action after that.
I'm not going
Wait,
down
he's
in
in the-
there.
Yeah, and
Is
you
it
could just
like-
get fucked up by raptors
come
like
on.
Gethin did.
Come on in.
How,
the water's fine.
How far can I? How far can I shoot?
You can cover this whole area.
Okay, so suppose I'm gonna shoot this raptor,
Okay.
seeing that someone's struggling down there for some reason. Who decided to run in.
I thought I was gonna be fine.
So let's do
Did
this.
that message you sent me, Ark? No, that just means it's harder to hit you, yet somehow they hit you.
Oh god.
No, I
that's-
realize that
misses.
now.
Yeah.
That's a miss. Do you want to do any movement?
No, I'm happy here. Considering what situation I got in last time, I've kind of learned my lesson.
Oh, see, I'm not the only one.
Just quietly. If Raz is
so
only
you-
15
It was
feet
more
in
Do
the
you
air,
Thoughts
all
you
watch
screwed
as
me
this
over.
as this
Yeah,
armored-
hang on. If it misses, where does it go? Does it hit me?
No,
Right.
unless it was hitting unless it was a critical fail, in which case I would maybe have said it hit you. If not, it would have hit Gethin.
what's
But
the jump height of a raptor?
they don't have a specific jump height, but I'm going to say it's a lot higher than you guys.
I was thinking the 15 feet of the Birdman.
Considered it.
They climb up on the rock and just catch
Yeah,
him by the
maybe.
wing.
Don't give him ideas.
I do have high dexterity though.
They build a crude
Anyhow,
slingshot.
Matsu, you all watch as this armored individual comes charging in and has his weapon at the ready. Then all of a sudden, he's standing there for a few seconds. The raptors kind of look at each other and just pounce in on him and start scratching and biting him. And then all of a sudden, arrow comes flying by, just kind of bounces off the ground. The raptors pay barely any mind and just go back to like eyeing up their new meal. Next up is Cyrus.
Alright, I'm going to... Okay, so if I move, as long as I don't dash, I can still do an attack, right?
Or an action.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then I'm going to move 35... Yeah, I'm going to move... Does 35 feet get me right beside, like, diagonally across from
Yeah,
that top raptor?
if you're within 1 square in any direction of a creature, that's attacking distance for melee.
So I won't be in distance if I move there, right?
If we're saying you're on this one here, then yeah, pretty much.
Okay, then I'm gonna move here. That.
Okay.
Yeah, right there. And then I'm gonna javelin throw
Okay, which raptor? The one on the right?
this one.
Okay, awesome. Make your attack, no disadvantage this time. That is a miss, unfortunately. Kind of throw the javelin up
You
in
guys
the air.
have good rolls when I'm not dead on the ground.
Listen, we don't judge. We don't run in like an idiot. Stupid.
You throw the javelin up in the air, catching the right way around. Just goes kind of flying past them, and Raptors kind of look up at you and just kind of let off this loud. And realize that you're another target. Alright,
Like I was just like, I'll leave the fucking leave him.
Ross, your turn.
Okay,
So you do what you're gonna do.
this raptor. Who is he occupied with? Because he was getting an attack from this guy
He
right
took
here.
an attack from the head, yes.
But is this guy focused on this thing or Geffen?
He's, from the look of it, he's kind of torn between, like, you know, the currently dying prey on the ground and the head that's currently trying to gnaw his leg off.
I'm not dying, I'm just playing dead.
You're very
Okay.
good at it.
Stupid humans are squishy.
So,
I really want those
I
raptors
was-
to eat you.
I was focused on the hunt until I saw that armored paladin run in and get absolutely wrecked by the raptors. So, I'm going to decide to help him by
Okay.
shooting this raptor right here because it looks like it's the most focused on him.
Okay. Go ahead and make your attack.
When being BA backfires.
And remember, for everyone who's using ranged weapons, to be keeping track of the ammunition that they're using. And
I have been. Every time I use one, I take it down.
awesome. That is a hit.
Oh,
Nice.
Go ahead. Alright, stand with you. Once more, raising up this longbow, pulling it back. You can all hear kind of like that creaking of the string and the bow arms as they're drawn back. Arrow goes flying into the raptor's back and just kind of, it almost falls directly on top of the unconscious Geffen. Kind of stumbles, picks stuff up, looks up at you, and then just kind of looks around and trying to figure out exactly what the hell they're dealing with right now.
can I make a suggestion?
Alright.
Because I have something stupid in mind. As I'm running down, can I tell Ras to move over one space?
You can wait. So you can
Like
what?
as I'm running, as doing my movement. And I tell
Ross
him
is
to
in-
get out of the way.
Ross
He's
is
in the air.
so
Yes,
he's
I
in the
know.
way.
No, it's more because I do a 15 cube. Like, hold on, let me just press it. Hold on. That I do a 15-foot cube. So if I was here, he would still get hit because it's 15 foot to that. That's what I was measuring up before.
Okay.
So can I tell him to get out of the way because I have something stupid in
I-
mind?
I am higher
Thumbs up,
than that.
everybody
So,
Well, no,
I'm
you're
15 feet
you're
up in
15
the air
feet
already.
The cube works in all
I was-
directions, so
I
you
was-
could still be impacted.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It goes there.
but if
Yeah.
you're here, it would.
No, I'm
Okay,
moving
yeah,
here.
okay.
Yeah. Because I need to hit them.
Um,
Oh, actually, yeah, that could work. Yep, never mind. We're good. Never mind. We're good.
Okay.
Okay.
So your turn. What are you doing?
Okay. So seeing everything that's happening, and she just sees a stranger laying down in the dirt. She just gets a sudden shock of adrenaline, and does something very fucking stupid. Hold on, let me just measure this out. She moves here.
Yes, what are you doing?
Never have let you out of the box.
And casts Thunder Wave on this poor little dude.
Go
Hold on.
ahead and so Thunderwave takes 2d8 and say Constitution saving throw. Okay.
So what do I need to roll?
And you're good at the moment. We'll go ahead and roll 2d8. And what's your spell save DC?
Hold on. Oh, wrong one. Sorry, what was that?
What's your spell save DC?
Where do I find that?
Go to your spells section.
13.
13.
No!
That he takes. We'll round up and say that he. Well, no, we'll round it to 4, and he ends up taking 4 damage. So you kind of, you skid down the little slope, run forward, and the raptor kind of turns, sees you, kind of lets out its own little shriek seeing you, and just kind of like looks excited. It's like, oh, this one looks a bit easier. All of a sudden, close your eyes and gather up the same strength that you summoned up before. Kind of thrust your hands onto the ground. All of a sudden, like you all hear it, like even the unconscious Gethin hears it.
What?
This loud, just boom, sort of fills the jungle.
I'm glad I didn't piss her
And
off.
the raptor gets kind of knocked back, and you can see it kind of throwing its head around like its ears. Its reptilian ears have just been ruined. But it gets back up and just kind of looks at you and growls a bit more.
And for my bonus action, could I please cast on Bardic Inspiration? Probably 60 feet. Hold on, let me just measure it out. Probably Matsi.
Okay. How do you wish to inspire her?
Matsi, she's a man! No.
Oh dear
I will allow that.
Really?
Yeah. If you want to come up with fucking like modern songs and alter the lyrics,
I will eventually.
do it. I don't care.
I will eventually.
Matsu, come fight with me or something.
Do you want to kill a raptor?
Okay, we'll use that for now and I'll come up with better ones later. Matsi! Matsi,
Yes, Tess. What?
do you want to kill a raptor?
The raptor looks between you and Matsi up in the cliff. and
Come
is like,
on, let's go and slay.
Well, I'd have to say.
How's
So
the
she have to
sister
actually cast something?
No, she's given you
It
bardic inspiration,
happens.
so you get to add a d6 to any like rolls or attack rolls.
For the next 10 minutes.
Okay, so
Is that
I'm just
just one
still
person?
standing here. I don't.
I
have
can
to
do up to
move or
3
anything?
times. I can do up to 3 times.
Before a long rest.
Yeah, before a long rest.
Okay,
Considering our roles, maybe you should have given that to me.
maybe. Alright, next
I can
up,
do it again next
Gethin,
turn anyway.
I need you to roll a death saving throw, so just roll me a 1d20. So slash roll 1d20.
Hold to bleed out. You passed.
Oh my
You
God.
successfully bleed.
Let me just double check.
Anything to save him?
Yeah, but it's still within the rules.
What is?
Oh god.
Oh boy.
To be honest. Tess is gonna die.
How fast are these raptors?
How fast are they?
Yeah.
From the looks of them, fast.
Shit.
And from how it moved around the body before, they're a bit faster than you are.
Shit.
Fucking 10. Oh, okay, no, that's a failure. So you need to mark yourself down as having 1 death save failure.
Uh-oh.
Okay, where does that go?
So you see,
Yeah.
yep, you see it. There you go. 1 failure.
So when I hit 3, what happens? I'm no longer in the game.
You no longer need to make death saves, if you know what I'm saying.
If CT
Okay.
is nice, he might bring you back.
I'll see. Brock, your turn.
Depends on how far in the story we are.
Alright, so Raza's still hovering above. Some weird pointy-eared budgepacker is over there walking towards throwing javelins at the ground. There's a big shiny guy unconscious in the middle of a bunch of raptors. And my new slave has run off and got herself in danger. Okay,
Pretty much.
I angrily mumbling shit, sort of half actually moving, half just fucking stomping like a petulant child. Down to there.
Gethin should have stayed out of the long grass.
Not a clever girl.
Down to there, and I blast at that raptor.
Okay. Roll a ranged attack.
Tess looks down at this little dragon rattling like, why is he protecting me?
Can I smack her on the back of the head as I go past, please?
As a bonus action, I'll allow it. Yeah.
Thank you.
No!
Can we see if it does damage?
No, because I'm just being beating.
It's just kind of a solid kind of whack on the side. Yep, that's a hit. Roll damage.
That makes me not jump.
See, I'm used to video game RPGs where the first fight you have is the easy one.
First name is Callum is?
D&D kind of campaign.
No, you missed out on the easy one.
Yeah,
Callum's D&D are never easy. That's the thing.
you already missed the
Okay.
tutorial, bro.
Dang it.
Yep.
And we
alright,
had
so
one
you
almost died
raising
that
up,
time.
raising up your hand once more. You just watch. Everyone can kind of clearly see your hand glows with archangels and just shoots into the raptor and blasts through it. And now you can see just a hole, probably about the size of your little kobold fist, going right through its neck.
I nod triumphantly and smack my stuff into the ground.
And your cloak billows out behind you. The raptor just kind of stands there for a sec and just kind of falls to the ground, dead.
Yay! There's hope for Gethin yet.
But that's not the one near
One
Gethin.
party member for one raptor. Good job.
Well, there's more of us than them. We'll win the war of attrition.
It's only a matter of question who dies next. Alright.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, it's the raptor's turn.
Oh,
I try.
Um,
Stupid fucking
so
humans.
this one here is going to go ahead and
Pick me, coach. Send me in.
it's going to jump up on the rock here.
oh,
And based
here
on
we
this
go.
athletics check, it's going to try and jump at Ross.
Oh no, Raz, what have you done? You've given him an idea.
Yeah, you guys gotta let it keep your mouth shut around the DM.
That's exactly what I wanted to happen. What are you talking about?
God damn it! We're supposed to be a team.
Yeah, a team where you get attacked instead of me.
Yeah.
Ah!
He jumps up on the rock, kind of readies himself. You just kind of see it, and all of a sudden, and just comes
Interesting.
flying at you. Go ahead and roll.
I have a picture in my head.
Imagine this from Ross's perspective. He sees the raptor, just coming at him with like almost a
Yeah.
big toothy grin.
And,
Go ahead
and I
and
have
roll
no
a-
idea what these things are and how
And
that
that's
they can
how
jump so
raptors
fucking
evolved
high.
into birds.
Like eating the bird.
Alright,
person.
guys, I'm gonna let Dog join. I told him to be quiet while he watches.
Okay. Very well.
Alright, so
You can
do
play
I
Darcy
need to
if he
make,
really wants.
do I need to make a dexterity saving throw?
Well, he's first gonna get 2 attacks of your A-Dog. He's first gonna get one of his bite attacks and his claw attack against you. Plus,
Does Raz have enough?
Raptors.
Does Raz have enough empty carry weight that he can hold a raptor up and him, or is the raptor dragging him right the fuck to the ground?
maybe. What's your armor class, Russ?
14.
Okay, that's a hit. And I'll just check the other one. Is also a hit.
No!
Okay.
Ah.
Thanks. I'm now gonna have to deal with saving 2 dumbass people. Well, a person and a thing.
Well, how was I supposed to know that these things can jump?
You
How was
could have
I
looked at
supposed
their
to know?
leg.
I'd be
Because they're raptors, man. You should have
Yeah, but
known
look
when
at
I
me.
said raptors.
I'm a beautiful
No,
specimen
no,
of a
my
man.
character has no clue.
I told you what they were.
Yeah, but you know,
I never said
I
they
don't
could
know
jump.
that they
Never mind.
jump.
Yeah, never mind. I never said they could jump. To be fair, they've never been let off a leash, probably in Slavers Bay, whatever you want to fucking call it. I just called it Slavers
Port
Bay.
Neanza.
Yeah, yeah, Port
At this
Neanza.
At this point, I'm going to request that you declare whether or not anything can or cannot jump when you describe it.
You
Thank God!
You take 9 points of
Oh.
damage in total.
I have 2 hit points
And
left.
you now count as this thing has grappled onto you. Actually, no. Make an athletics check, or an
Okay.
acrobatics check, depending on what you want.
Does it matter if the numbers are the same?
I mean, it's just up to you which one you want to pick in that
Conference will begin when the next party joins.
case. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Oh! Natural 20 on both sides, so I'm gonna have to go.
Oh no.
I'm gonna have to go with Lanx on it.
Yeah,
Because
you got high.
23.
Oh my god,
Ooh.
Lanx, you're a lucky motherfucker.
This thing, it comes soaring towards you, claws and bites you, and then it goes to drag you down and just and its claw attack is basically it dragging its long hooked talons down your torso and down your leg as it just kind of plops down to the ground underneath you. Wow, I've never seen a contest.
Oh
like that.
man.
Okay, next up, the other raptor is gonna run at you, Clayton, and it's gonna cop an opportunity attack from the head.
Alright. So he leaves the unconscious guy?
And gets hit. 1d.
I have 18 armor class.
Who keeps messaging me?
Doesn't even leave the head. The head grapples onto it, throws itself to one side, rips the leg clean off the body, and the raptor, like, still kind of mid-flight towards you, Cyrus, just kind of rolls across the ground and then lies dead at your feet.
Woohoo!
Oh my
Good job, you killed it.
Yay!
Alright, next up, that right beside his turn, that one's dead, and it is Matsy's turn.
I heard you say yay, Cyrus.
So,
You are literally the other one. Never mind.
Wait,
Matsy's kind of watching.
I'm literally what?
did Cyrus go before Matsi?
No, the raptor was about to run at Cyrus. And
Oh,
got killed
okay.
by the head.
There we go. Alright.
So Matsy sees strange man bleeding out on the ground. Everybody else is being triumphant against the Raptors. She sees Raz
Not
get
me.
She gets Raz get
I'm almost
attacked.
dead.
She has very little sympathy for him, considering the last time Tatsi was almost dying on the ground. He ignored him and her, and proceeded to move towards the other people in the chest. So she's gonna kind of ignore it and move forward and attempt to assist at Gethin's wounds, I suppose, or this unknown man's wounds on the battlefield. Let's see, she's gonna only can move 30 feet, right?
Unless you dash.
And a dash.
Will it take up your move?
A dash will take you 60 feet.
60 feet.
But it'll take your action.
That's
I
fine.
do. Just to point out as well, when you do run past hostile creatures, or if you're leaving combat with them, unless you guys are disengaging, which counts as an action, or later for rogues, it's a bonus, but not at the moment. You will cop opportunity attack, so kind of just like a blind spot on your defenses. So just keeping that in mind when you guys are running around other creatures.
That's
Which is basically what the head's been doing to the raptors this whole time.
That's fine.
Um,
She's pretty actually naturally very selfless as long as others, act upon
Oh,
her
Skate
as well.
can come in.
And
Uh,
spectate.
Anyways,
No, he's not allowed.
I have a conference going actually that he can watch me send him the link, I suppose.
Yep.
Give me one moment.
just a quick question, CT.
Mhm.
Should that raptor have taken an attack of opportunity as it fell down the 5 feet away from Ras?
No, not on that same kind of regard, because they've kind of gone from a confrontation from each other and then parted, whereas like opportunity attacks would be more along the lines of. I mean, I've never had a raptor jumping through the air, so that's the first time I've rolled something like that. But in the future, I'll take in consideration. But in this situation, no, I think this was Raz being kind of doing a cool flip midair, trying to get away from the raptor.
Theatrically, it's definitely the right choice. I'm just curious if somebody's falling past you, if you would get an attack of opportunity. presumably.
If it was just kind of a falling past you in a you're on a cliff and Diplodocus falls by you, then absolutely you should be able to attack it if you're aware. But
I suppose since the raptor's still
you
within
really
range.
want me dead, don't you, Raz? I saved
You
your
would-
ass too.
You would have got the attack of opportunity on it, not the other way around, you twit.
Oh.
Anyways, so I suppose since the raptor is actually close to Tess and Rock, and she is she cares for them a little bit, suppose. So, I guess because of that, I'm going to move here.
Okay.
How do I... Why was my character not moving?
Click it. Just click on your.
I
Do
am.
you not have ownership of that token?
I
Good
don't
damn.
believe I do.
Let me switch that up. You should. That's.
You go to the little.
Oh, no, you need
Are
to
you
the cursor.
have you clicked the mouse button, or are you still on the?
Oh, I'm being dumb. Sorry. Alright, there we go. Gotta move there. So that's 30 feet, right? Anyways. And then I suppose I'm going to... let's do a dagger this time. No.
Okay.
Is that ranged or is that just a melee?
Range is just melee, so go for it. So
Just do short sword.
1d20.
And boom.
Oof.
Ooh, that
Unfortunately,
sucks.
That is a miss. Big miss. You slash across the side trying to hit it. It grabs the sword mid-swing, yanks it out of your hand, and just kind of throws it onto the ground in front of you and just kind of gets ready to pounce at you now. Alright. Cyrus, your turn.
Okay. Okay. This is me actually showing some sort of passion. Don't know why. He's a dumbass. If I go to Gathan and use Lay of Hands, would it even do anything to him? Like if I
You would bring him back to positive points. The negative stuff doesn't get affected when it's healing. Negative's only really an issue if you lose more hit points than your maximum when you get hit. Then it's instant death. But since you're -7, you were pretty close to dying, but not quite there. Alright, so yeah, if you go ahead and use Lay of Hands, you'll pull him out of it.
So would that put me to 5?
What's the late? Wait,
It's
how much
5
can you
times
heal,
his
Cyrus?
paladin level.
Yeah, it's 5 times my paladin level.
Then yeah, you'd bring him up to 5.
All right, I get to do something.
Yay! Just as everything is killed.
I know.
Alright, so Cyrus, you run over and you do that to him.
Then I do Lay of Hand.
Can you still, with lay on hands, divvy out exact amounts of points that you want to heal? Like, could he give him 1 hit point right now and to get him alive, and then save the rest if you want to do?
Yeah. He can go.
Alright, I do that. Wait, do I have to roll?
Okay, so you give him what, 1 hit point?
Yeah, I'll give him 1 hit point because I think he needs to learn his lesson.
Oh,
I think, Gathan, you need to learn your lesson and stop being a stupid human and think like an elf.
I need
Distance is better.
to stop asking rules questions that I'm curious about. Is what I need to do.
Alright. Gethin, you're now at 1 hit point. Ross, your turn.
Alright. So,
You're welcome.
I have scratch marks all down my torso. I'm
You're a dumbass.
bleeding, but I'm still hanging in there. And so, taken aback by the Raptors' ability to jump, I am going to move back onto above the cliff.
all the way back.
So you kind of look at the wounds blade and you just and you just kind of fly backwards, not taking your eye off the raptor, and it's not kind of taking its eye off of you either as you're floating backwards, kind of distracted by Matzi at the moment.
And I'm also going to fly maybe about 10 feet higher. I don't want this thing pouncing on me again.
Now that you're back on the cliff, so you're about 5 feet off the ground, so now you're once again 15 feet up in the air. Well, you're 15 feet above that point, but that makes you about
25 feet.
Yeah, 25 feet higher than the raptor at the moment. So you're good.
Okay. And I am going to once again, once I've made sure I'm out of danger, I kind of let out a bit of a screech of pain, but I ignore my wounds and fire another arrow.
Okay.
Oh man.
You are on fire today. Alright, roll damage.
Gathan,
Raising up the bow once more. Flying through the air, and after you watch another arrow just embed straight into this thing's chest, and it gets really taken aback. It looks between you, looks up at Ross, kind of senses movement behind it, looks at Cyrus and Gathan, and kind of just raises its head up in the air and just goes, that kind of thing.
Oh
That
no.
raptors do.
Oh gosh. Why'd you only give me one?
Fuck, I know that noise.
Shit.
What did I?
Sorry.
Your turn.
Okay. She's torn because she isn't that strong as a character. She isn't that strong as a person, but she wants to help in any way she can.
Okay. Okay. As much as I like everyone's descriptions,
But I'm trying to. That's what I'm thinking out to myself. I'm thinking out to myself. I'm thinking out to myself. Don't worry.
okay. I'm talking with everyone because I know everyone's kind of done it.
I haven't.
Oh, damn it! You guys are there. Fuck, why are you guys there?
You can move through people, like as
No,
long as you
I'm-
end your turn on their same spot. It's fine.
I can't cast it anyway, so don't worry. I don't have anything. I literally have nothing really I can do unless I go up to here and see if they need assistance with anything medicine-wise.
I could use some assistance.
Dumbass.
I don't have any medicine tools. So, can I yell out to see if anyone has any medicine tools? And then hopefully heal the stranger on the ground?
I'm not on the ground, I'm just kind of kneeling now.
Well, kneeling. He's a very badly injured man.
So
Can I do
you're
that?
Yelling out, I need medicine tools.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You can.
Rock kind of cocks his head to the side, looks at you, reaches into his robe,
Does
pulls out
anyone
a
have
dagger,
one?
and passes it to you.
Motzi, I believe.
So you're giving me medicine stuff?
No, I'm giving you a dagger.
Dagger.
believe
So I have 2 daggers now.
Motzi, I think I used my medicinal kit on Tatsi at one point, so it doesn't mean that means I can't use it again. Correct.
Didn't you get hurt?
When you used it on Tatsi earlier.
Yes.
No, I'll say you've got a number of uses for a medicine kit in terms of using.
All right,
stuff.
then I hand that, or somehow she's gonna
Well,
have to come
as
over to
I'm
me
running,
and
like
retrieve
as
it.
I'm running by, can we just like do like a football grab? Just
Rose it.
Not on your turn, no.
So she's gonna have to walk up to me and literally take it.
Pretty much.
okay. Let me work out the best possible way. 15 feet. I can get here. Okay. So moving
Bit soft CT, but I did hear it.
here.
I didn't do that once. Originally, that's part of the other soundtrack.
Okay, so
As a response.
15 feet, 15 feet. Okay, there you go. I stopped by, grabbed the thing, and now I'm here.
Okay. Okay. Gavin, unless you're doing anything else, Tess.
Sorry?
Is there anything else you're doing?
I'm facing towards the raptor in a defensive kind of thing, so I know they can't like just turn on me.
Okay. Gavin, your turn.
Okay, so taking the medicine, if I run by her, taking the medicine takes an action, correct?
Yeah.
Well, I have to apply it though.
The medicine thing that you guys have, it doesn't really heal so much as you could have used that to like stabilize him, unless you have the feat specifically for using it to heal people. But I mean, you can help bind his wounds a bit,
Yeah, that's what I was
but
going to
it
do.
won't
like,
actually
try
it
and-
won't actually restore any hit points.
Well, at least it could
So-
stop from. Bleed? I don't know, just
I could
helping
take
out.
I could take a huge risk right now. Again.
Don't.
Don't you dare, you dumbass. Can
Don't underestimate my power!
yeah, like the fact
I mean, there's this woman just kind of standing by a raptor at the moment.
That's
And
true.
by this weird like freaking little weirdo head in the ground.
Yeah, the head in the ground makes me uncomfortable. Alright. So I'm gonna move here.
Oh
and I'm
god.
going to-
Not again.
Get
I'm
them
going to
now!
use my longsword.
Okay. Roll attack.
You're so
I
fucking
heal
dead.
this stupid
Oh.
Roll
fucking human. I
damage.
kill this stupid fucking
How do I
human
roll?
and he decides
Press
to
the
run.
longsword in the bottom
Click
of the tab.
longsword in that box.
Watch it be a 2.
Oh, that's not
No,
it.
no, no.
Oh.
Go down to the
Just press the
actual.
longsword. Yeah, like where it says longsword in the box, where it says 18, 20.
Where you've rolled it, yeah.
Okay.
You know, you can do the 11 if you want.
Gethin,
Nope,
how do you
it's
want to do
wrong.
this?
He did the long one.
How
You did
do
it.
you want to finish this creature off?
Ooh.
Slashing or
Um,
stabbing.
I'm going to. So my longsword's gonna run through its back, and I'm just gonna pick it up off the ground.
If
Toss it to the ground.
if you drink its
Okay.
blood, you'll earn my trust.
You got pulled out from the darkness of, the verge of death to the sight of this elf just kind of looking down at you with a scolding look. You look up, you see one person running towards you, see another woman like being assailed by a raptor, and third person flying off in another direction. Longsword on the grass before you, pick it up, run forward, and you drive it through its back. And as you say, you just pick it up, you hold it up over your head, and it kind of curls back around the same way they kind of do when they find fossils of these damn things. Like, this thing is just kind of bent down, just kind of lets out one final kind of sound, and then just goes limp on your blade.
All right.
And you quickly kind of lower it down and like pull the sword out in one motion. Falls on the ground, and with that, combat is over.
Can I yell, drink the blood of your enemy to gain an elf's trust?
What kind of elf are you?
One that
Well,
wants
not
to
like any
be a
elves
human.
that I have heard of before.
Well, I know that you have to earn being a warrior.
Okay. So that combat is now over, and
Okay,
3
I go back-
raptors lie dead on the ground.
I go back
Not
over to
incredibly
Matthew, give it back
inhuman.
her medicine pouch. Thank you for letting me use this. I never actually used it.
You ran
Do
up
I
to
get to
me and
take
you didn't
the-
know how to use this stuff. How interesting.
I do know
Well-
how to use it. I just didn't get a chance to. He ran off before I could get to him.
Yeah, This,
You're
this,
standing
this
right
man
beside
seems
him.
a little bit bold for my taste.
I don't know, maybe he's just doing what he thinks is right.
What do you mean, charging into a... Do
Well,
you think he
maybe he-
shows concern for that creature over there? Shit. There goes Lucy Lane. Sorry.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe he just shows concern for that creature over there.
Maybe.
Meanwhile, Tatsi pipes up from the hill. Is it safe yet?
Tatsi, when have you ever actually asked if it was safe? Down here, you
And when have
Well,
you
there
ever
weren't
backed up to
dinosaurs
fight?
the last few times.
So dinosaurs makes it...
Yeah.
Yes, they're safe. Come down.
Are the rats okay?
Yes,
The squeaks.
the rat is fine.
There's also more squeaks from Matsu's backpack.
He reaches in and gets bitten again by one of them. God damn it.
You really
Good
need
job.
to know how to handle these creatures. They are quite sweet once you get to know them.
And Dalton's
What are
probably
you
dead up there
people
in the
talking
corner.
about? Shut it. Shut it. I had to save your stupid ass.
Either way, I walk up
Oh,
to
stupid.
Ethan, I guess, and
Yeah.
I introduce myself. Say, hello, my name is Matsu, and this is Tess.
Pleasure
What
to
is your
meet you.
group doing out here?
We
Being a
We're on our way to
dumbass and
town.
running into fights.
And who might you be?
Who, me?
Yes, you. I'm looking at you, aren't
And
I?
I move closer.
Oh, I'm just Cyrus. You know, just an elf.
Oh,
Watching over these humans.
I've
Cause-
never. Wait,
Either
question.
way,
Has she met an elf before?
yes, Raz.
She's seen them.
Seen them, but has she met them?
Not properly.
I've never met an elf properly before.
Aren't
It's a pleasure to meet
I,
you.
I move over to come talk more. Aren't you an elf? You have the ears like me.
I am half.
You
Oh.
can pretty clearly see that she, like, where your ears are much Yours are probably about the length of your hand going out to the side, whereas her ears
Random.
more human-sized, but with a point on them. They... yeah, good point. She's very clearly what your particular group, where you're from, call them, med sanguinaire.
Can I size her up
Yeah, what are you looking for?
if she's a worthy soldier? Being an elf. Being an elf.
She's...
I am
She
nobody.
looks pretty underfed, more than anything.
Oh.
Very
Well,
sweet.
What are you looking at me like that for?
I've never seen half. I can't even say that damn word. One of the halflings looking like
Patsy, what are you doing
just
over there?
strong.
Patsy,
Halfling.
Half-blood.
Yeah. Half-blood.
get back
Patsy
over
kind of
here.
walks around a lot of you and kind of pokes at you, I think, man, you almost died.
Get off of me.
Whoa, alright, sorry, bro.
Meanwhile,
I like
Patsy
him.
Well,
He points out the obvious.
moves
While
over
all
and
this
looks
is
at the
happening,
strange head.
Can I do my
Hang
thing?
on,
Because
hang
while
on.
you guys were doing
Hang
that
on,
whole
hang on.
conversation,
Knock first. What was that you're saying, sorry?
I'm just moving over and next to Rock and looking at the strange head sticking out of the ground.
Okay. And Brock, what are you doing?
while they were having that whole conversation, I was sort of kneeling down near the head, looking at it. Is it speaking any sort of language, or just making snarling and growling noises?
It's just looking at you, and it looks cross, and it kind of bares its teeth. It's ready to bite someone else now.
Sort of poke it gently with my stick.
As you kind of reach out to poke it, it kind of like
What are you
snaps at the
doing,
stick.
monster? Why are you
Can I
poking?
do a
Yeah.
animal handling check to see if I can calm it down in any way, shape, or form? Like I rush over.
Sure, you can try.
So I run over and let me see if I can work this out.
And no, Jed, you don't get hit points back. You are still dying.
Okay. So I'm gonna kind of ignore everybody and walk back to Dalton to see if he's alive.
Okay. Well, Tess, you do this. You do the animal handler check. You go about kind of how you know to approach animals, like being calm, just holding your hands out to the side, and kind of just letting it observe you. Looks you up and down, just continues to snarl. And meanwhile, Gathan, you wander over to Dalton and you find him. He's kind of propped himself up against a tree. He's been watching the whole thing. Goes, bloody hell! It's a wonder we invited you into the Guardians. You can barely fight as it is.
Well, this is all happening.
Hold up.
Okay.
Unless there's something you're wanting to say, Gathan.
Oh, I was not sure the order of operations here. Come on, let's get you up. We've got to get you to the city.
That's probably not gonna happen there. Look. Then he reaches into his pocket and pulls out a small little pendant with a gauntlet on it. He says, "Just get that back to Breakbone at the camp. By all means, get your asses to Nianzaro first. Don't get your ass kicked again like then. But just get back. Tell him what happened. Tell him we gotta switch. Tell him we gotta switch things up, or we're all gonna end up like me. You weren't too bad a soldier. A little too reckless for my taste. But you were alright."
Aww.
I'm just shaking my head at them. I'm seeing them off in the distance and just shaking my head.
So, can I do a insight check to see if how long he's got, or is he already gone?
That would be a medicine check.
Okay. So I'm going to do a medicine check then.
He's on his last legs. He's been bleeding out this whole time. His wound is kind of getting the early signs of infection. It doesn't look like he'd make his way back to Nianzaro pretty easily. And if he did, the chance of him surviving aren't particularly high.
I'm not planning on leaving you out here just to be eaten by another one of these giant lizards.
Oh, I'm glad you're so concerned.
What's the plan then, Guardian?
I pick him up and throw him over my shoulder, gently.
Ow!
And carry him back to the rest of the group. And look at Cyrus. It's time to leave. We don't have much time.
What is wrong with the man?
That man, he's going to die here in minutes. You should probably
Wait.
just finish him off. I know it's not my place, but
It's not really going to be an option.
Let him rest here and move him when he leaves. It's going to be too painful for him. I'd rather die in peace than die in pain.
Yeah, he was a weakling anyways.
That was rather rude. He's still alive.
I am still alive.
Human.
Well, this is
Is he
happening.
still all the way over there?
No.
Can I do a perception check to see if there's any... Oh, never mind, I have nature. Never mind.
Well, this is
Okay, can
happening. I'm blasting bits of meat off the raptor.
As in, like, to pick up, or you're just kind of shooting bits off of them?
No, as in to take for my kobolds. The raptor.
Is the man still on...
Snacks, Snucks, and Snacks make their way down as well, and just start helping you gather it up.
Is the man still on Gethin's shoulders, or has Gethin put him down now? On the ground, like on the boulder?
I've rested him against the boulder.
Okay,
So
Tess
should we
kneels
move
down.
him?
So, what gets you into this mess?
And while this is happening, I've been flying around the raptors, trying to recover my arrows, and still kind of exhilarated by the hunt. I'm using my dagger, trusty dagger, to carve up the bodies and harvest them.
Okay.
I'm-
Recover
I scream at you
half
to
the
grab
arrows
my-
that you used. Same with anyone?
I-
I notice
Round up.
Raz collecting the arrows and move over to at least obtain one of mine. If that would be acceptable.
Sorry for
I
that,
collect-
Evelyn.
I
Okay.
collected my javelins. I only get half, you said, right?
Yep.
Alright, so I'm back at 4 javelins.
Okay, so did you ask something before, Tess? Sorry?
I was saying, so, what got you guys into this mess? And I just, like, get a, rip off a spare piece mug and just hold, like, just comfort him kind of thing. Even though he's dying, just comfort him.
Dalton kind of looks things. Trained all my life to fight out in the fields and the forest, but this place, none of us are equipped for this. This is it's death, really. We're on patrol, and now we're here. And now I'll not be here soon enough. Well, these two, they're alright. If you can, it'd be much appreciated if you get them back to Camp Vengeance.
We set out from Camp Vengeance about a week and a half ago. There were 5 of us then. We've been patrolling the jungles. Things didn't go so well.
Clearly something didn't go well. I suppose as long as it doesn't endanger Tess at all, we could ensure that. I don't know about who all has contacts there. What do you think, Tess?
Kind of missed out because of the notification on my phone. Please repeat.
I'm not sure about this camp. Is there people there that could endanger you think?
I don't know. I spent all my life in that city. I don't know if they would be on the side of my master or...
Roll
roll just a history check.
Me?
Just so, because like there's a chance you might actually know about it. You know that that foreign powers have sent soldiers into the jungle through Portney and Zaharu. You haven't heard much about them in great detail. You know that some of them, like some of the larger mercenary groups, they're doing all right. But ones who have just dived headfirst into the jungle, from what you've been hearing, it hasn't been going quite as well for them. But from what you know about these Guardians and Camp Vengeance, they're a religious group. A combination of different religious soldiers and priests.
We were trying to make our way to Port Nyanzaru to resupply. That's when we ran across you.
That's the one place we were running away from. But I guess if you guys need help, you don't look in the best of wares. You should get your medical attention.
I've had worse.
She just looks at him, like, seeing, like, obviously that he's not lying.
Inside check.
Inside. Damn it.
You believe him. But you're not sure.
I can tell. A man like you would have seen things. I can only imagine. But you still need attention. You still need medical attention. She turns
at that
back.
point, you guys hear kind of the snarl from the head and the body. He's kind of looking up at the rest of you. His reptilian eyes, like his pupils, are like these thin black slits. And they're just kind of looking up at the rest of you and just snarls and looks to you, Rock, and you feel like some of the snarls that he's giving you, there's hints of a language there. There's hints of, at the very least, he's only offering words like back off or things like that, but you think it's Draconic.
Do I understand what it's saying?
Yeah, well, you haven't really been listening to him very keenly, but all of a sudden he kind of, sort of in Draconic, it's just kind of snarling, sort of like, go away, leave. And anyone else in the party who knows Draconic can hear this as well.
I continue shooting bits off the raptor.
As I'm carving up the raptor bodies, I look at Rock being kind of wasteful, and I just silently judge him.
Roll for silent judgment.
You just wait.
What do you roll?
No, I'm kidding.
You just wait. It'll be you I'm shooting bits of meat off soon.
Oh.
At this point, Tartsy kind of comes around and looks at the head. It's like,
Oh dear God.
man, you're in a bad shape, aren't you? And because fairly certain you speak Draconic, don't you, Matsu?
For my understanding, I haven't been able to understand Vrock at all.
So he's been doing gibberish.
What? I'm confused. I know
He's been saying mostly gibberish, except when he's speaking to the kobolds. Even then, he kind of.
So do I speak Draconic? I don't know.
Let me double check. Looks where's Pavolo's
The only thing I know I have is Thieves' Cant. But I know you remember telling me that I did understand some languages, but you never really specified.
You want T. Yep, you know Draconic.
Oh. So I don't understand him because he's talking too fast or something?
He's got it's a different dialect.
The dialect.
Like
okay.
you can kind of pick up kind of what he's saying, but the sentence.
He has a lisp and a stutter.
Okay, so
that's
I understand what the head's saying then.
You get a basic idea of what it's saying. Yeah.
I can talk to it.
I don't know. Can you?
So that's up to me.
Well, it means talk to it and find out.
Oh, okay. I start attempting at the Draconic language, and I say, "Why are you stuck here?"
He kind of snarls at you and then says, "You cold-bloods, you left me here."
You was the first phrase you said. I heard the second.
Cold-bloods.
Oh, dear God. So,
What?
you can't understand what's going on, I believe.
Yeah, no. I'm
You're
just
asking
saying
what
you
I was
guys
saying?
interact with this thing. Like, what are you...
And I continue to talk to him, and I say, "So, some of my people left you here?"
He just kind of growls and looks you up and down. Different.
Ah, I see. Yes, I'm very different from them. And you seem to be stuck in a bad situation. Is there anything I can do to help?
I'll be back in a second.
Free me.
Nothing that ever said free me in that voice was a good idea to be freed.
Free you? I turn over to Tatsi and I say, in normal language, I say, well, I suppose I can still speak Draconic, because does he understand it as well, technically?
He does, yeah.
Okay, I continue to speak in Draconic so that others can understand. I say, well, what do you think, Tatsi?
Well, I mean, he might be in debt to us then. I mean, imagine. I mean, I don't know what else is left of him under there, but he'd be a pretty cool pet.
Can I try and pull him out just for shits and giggles?
I,
Like from behind, so
yeah?
I'm not at his head. So I'm not at his head.
You're nudging him?
Sure. You can try.
Like I'm just seeing the chick lady that's talking to it, looking inquisitive, or am I getting the wrong impression from her?
No, you wouldn't say you're getting the wrong impression, but you can tell there's a clear line of communication between them.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna take it as like they're having a civilized conversation.
Okay. So you're gonna
So-
try and pluck him out of the ground?
Yeah. So I'm gonna move. Wait, which way is the head facing?
He's probably facing kind of towards Vrock.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go here.
He kind of watches you as you get closer and just kind of snarls a little bit.
I move forward
He can't really turn his head back to
Tell-
see you.
I tell Matsi to let him know that I'm gonna try and get him out, but I'm just like doing hand signs to her.
I can understand you, if that's what you mean. I speak in common language.
Yeah, but
I
I don't want him to get spooked. I don't know if he can understand me.
I tell Cyrus to hold on a second. Or I hold up a finger with the one finger, my index finger, and say just. And I continue to talk to this creature in Draconic. I say, so you're telling me that if I free you, you won't hurt anyone here.
He looks around at the rest of them. They without scales. They kind of looks to, especially to Gethin after watching him get his ass kicked. They need guide.
God would be good here.
Also,
I don't know about this.
a bit rude. I have scales.
I don't.
I look at Cyrus again and I kind of give a nod.
All right. So what would I roll?
Roll an athletics check.
All right.
I would say no on that arc. You kind of tug at his head and he kind of growls at you doing because you're not entirely sure where to be grabbing him from because he's literally like neck up and that's all. But you kind of try and dig at the dirt around him. He's not getting out. It's gonna take a bit of time. You're gonna have to probably dig a bit of him out before you can like pull him.
Yeah. Tess knows that they're struggling, so she comes over and helps dig.
I look around and I say, everyone, this creature means us no harm. In whatever common language there is. And I say, can you guys all help me remove him from this ground? And I start to dig.
Can
walk
I do
over
it?
and
No. Go ahead.
I walk over and pull out my shield and use it as a shovel.
Aren't you
I was
like
gonna say-
really badly in need of healing? Like, aren't you on the verge of death?
Ah,
Here's 1 hit point.
Can I do a wisdom check to find out the best way to unbury
Actually,
him?
can I use my animal handling as well? Because I might be able to figure out a safe way to pull him out.
It's not an animal; it's a sentient being.
so can I use my lay on hands self outside of combat?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick.
Come
While
on.
you're digging, you open up a couple more of the wounds that Cyrus kind of closed, and then you just kind of hold your hand and let the healing magics flow through your body.
I watch.
Fine, I give him 4 more.
I watch and
Yeah.
I'm very intent and curious about what they're doing.
Touching each other. You like it?
Is there...
I'm touching myself.
While they're fingering Deathan, I raise a hand as if to blast the dirt around the creature. Does
Oh.
anybody yell anything?
No, wait, stop, you fool.
No, stop! What are you doing?
What are you doing?
And sort of raise my hand as
Wait.
though to say lift it out
So
of
did Rock understand that conversation?
He understood. Yeah, he understood bits and pieces of it. Again, it's all different kind of forms of Draconic.
No,
I put my shield in front of the head in the way of Brock.
CT, can I talk to you for a sec?
Is this about the language thing?
I'll just message it to you, don't worry.
I put my shield in front of the head, trying to block it from Brock.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Brock shrugs. Jumps back up on the chest, sort of sits down.
Okay.
Why is Snacks out of
Next.
commission? I missed that. No, he's not. It's just the... Okay, I see now.
So they're after you.
Yeah, it's after.
Snacks is
Concerned.
dead.
I was concerned.
Rip.
I also, give each of my kobolds a nice large chunk of the raptor meat and eat some of it myself.
So
You're
yeah,
always eating.
What have I been getting from carving up these raptors?
You have gotten. Well, are you just looking for meat?
Well, just about anything I can use. I am being as resourceful as I can.
You've been able to pry out from one of the raptors. You're able to pry both of its like long hooked claws from its feet. You're also able to harvest probably about 3 days worth of rations of raptor meat.
How does the raptor meat taste?
Like chicken.
Do you take a bite of raw raptor meat?
I don't know. I assume kobolds can sort of eat raw meat. That sort of feels like they're good.
Yeah,
Instantly
they
get
can.
ringworm.
They like cooking stuff, but they can eat raw if they really feel like it.
Yeah,
Can
it's
our
sort of,
Kokra.
Absolutely, like both of you guys can.
after I pass Snacks and Snucks a chunk of it, I sort of take a nibble at it to see what it tastes like.
It's a lot different. Like you've eaten bird before and other lizards and things like that, and this is a weird combination of the two. Like it's chewy with this with this really almost stringy kind of texture.
I feel like it would be good
Like
smoked.
fish.
Should I be worried about that noise I just heard?
That's the sound of the jungle.
So I'm gonna stand up and walk over to Dalton and check on him.
He's gone.
Okay. So I'm gonna go up here and take his body and take my shield and start digging a hole.
Just quietly.
Hmm?
Is there any taboo for eating people in my culture?
If it's there, it's there.
Wow. Before you say that, I'm gonna help Catherine because, well, let's be honest here. He was my commander, as stupid as he was.
Continue
Okay.
to dig in the dirt.
As you guys depart, eventually, you guys are able to dig around the dirt till a point where about the creature's shoulders are revealed in rather humanoid sort of shape, and then one of its arms just comes bursting out of the ground and just quickly pulls itself out. It's a large humanoid reptile, similar to Vrak and his retainers, but very thick-looking sets of black, jet black scales, with very few kind of streaks of grey in between, and he kind of stretches around and kind of rolls around the ground and just kind of almost like a crocodile's death roll, just to try and lever himself back up, and he stretches and then stands at his height, and he's taller than pretty much all of you, except he's probably more equal to Cyrus and Gethin's height, you'd say.
Do I recognize what kind of creature it is?
Go ahead and roll a history check. From the looks of it, he's just a very big kobold.
I sort of wave weirdly at him.
He kind of looks to you, cocks his head, and offers a really awkward wave back.
I sort of smile, nod my head, then go back to munching on the raptor meat.
Can I shake my head?
I take a step back because obviously he's really tall.
I sigh and look around and go, well, you're probably going to be here for the night. Might be a good idea to start setting up a camp of sorts. And I look into my explorer's pack. She kind of looks over at Mossy and just shakes her head. Not Mossy, Brock, and shakes her head. And she reaches into her explorer's pack and wonders what's inside.
Brock sighs heavily, points at the raptors.
Well, if we're going to set up camp, I'll go get some wood.
So,
Be careful.
at this moment, Brock is kind of thinking, okay, so there was a lot of raptors. They made noises to try and summon their friends, and we're now setting up camp here.
I'm agreeing
you
with
do
you.
indeed think all of this.
Very hard.
I'm thinking that as well. I'm thinking,
Actually,
hey,
yeah.
So do you think the cliff would be
The
better?
lizard person kind of looks amongst you all and says, "Do you go back to No Scale City?"
I think we're trying to go back to
I
a
just came
camp
back down
of
here.
sorts, not necessarily a city, say in Draconic. I'm not sure about what we're gonna do. We're running away from some people right now, some bad people.
He looks amongst most of you and he says, "You will not survive for very long. Not here."
this is all in Draconic, right?
All in Draconic.
I
So I'm
take
gonna
out.
ask Matsu what she's saying to him, because now I'm getting suspicious.
I look over at Cyrus and I say, "We're discussing the safety of this group." And then I take out a rat out of my pack and I snap its neck and then I hand it over to the creature.
Takes
That
it,
wasn't very nice.
looks down at it, looks up at you, looks down at it, throws it up in the air and just opens up its jaw and just, you watch as the rat just goes up in the air, straight into the jaw. Jaws snap shut. And he just kind of sighs in content. And just kind of holds his hand to his chest and goes, "Bertha."
Excuse me?
Vertha. Vertha Darastrix. That is his name.
Your name... Bertha's your name.
Vertha. And those of you who speak Draconic can quickly pick up that Vertha Darastrix basically translates into just black dragon.
As he says this, I sort of look up at him again, Rock! And wave awkwardly at him again.
He bows his head and just goes, Vertha.
I nod my head
I
and
just
go back
laugh.
to munching.
I'm just laughing at the conversation that's happening between them. Because I'm seeing him just keep going waving.
I point at Rock and I say, Rock. I point at Tess and I say, Tess. I point at Totsi and I say, Totsi. Those are only I don't really know. Snacks and snacks. And was I formally introduced to Cyrus?
Nope.
You weren't really
Don't
introduced.
believe so, and I kind of shake my head and point at Cyrus and shrug my shoulders, and then I point to myself and I say Matsi.
As she points at Cyrus, the draconic guy hears in his head, "Arsehole."
He looks over to you, Rock, and just kind of just gives a slow nod.
I smile.
I know I'm not supposed to know this. What the fuck?
Oh,
I'm just staying just stoic.
I asked.
Does
sorry.
Does food in this have like video game? Does it have video game like stats? Can it heal you?
No, but you guys will need
Darn.
food because you have rations and water for the day.
All right.
I go collect berries.
Roll a survival check.
Right.
You find a berry, and you don't know whether it's good for you or not.
Wow.
It's black and may or may not be a knockout berry.
I turn to them and I say, "This is Vertha. He means us no harm. We need to. I believe he wants to lead us to a safe place for camp."
Has this raptor I'm next to been harvested yet?
I believe it has.
No, not yet.
Yeah.
Okay, can I harvest stuff out of it?
I go to Gathan
Get your
and ask him
pickaxe
what,
out.
I go to Gathan and ask him what he thinks we should do. Should we stay with this group of people, or should we just...
I think we're stronger in numbers at this point.
Yes, but there's a lot of squishy humans, and there's a half-breed amongst them.
And there are dinosaurs in the jungle. What's your point?
They're humans. I don't want to deal with more of you.
Well, then you can go by yourself. I'm staying with them.
Fine.
Alright, so can I harvest this raptor or what?
Yeah.
Can I just say, out of character, I don't think there's actually any humans except for half
Yeah.
of me.
Shush.
And me.
I don't know what you guys are, so I'm just assuming you guys are humans.
Okay,
because
okay,
you
making
don't have
sense.
pointy
Okay.
ears.
Wait, so has the expired man been buried yet?
Yes.
He has, yeah.
Expired man.
Okay,
He went
darn.
past his use by date.
Okay, what do I get from this raptor?
You're able to, roll a survival check for me.
1. Please give him a 1.
Natural 20.
Even worse.
You can
7.
probably have about a day's worth of rations from this, 'cause you're not really certain which bits of the meat are decent or not. You
But
attempt
since
to
there's
take
a-
one of
since
you
there's a
attempt to
leg-
take. There
there's a
is a
leg.
leg just sitting there. That you can take.
One
It's
missing
like-
a leg.
you
Is
can-
that what
you can
happened
really
at
pick
this
up the leg if you really wanted, and just carry that around.
Yeah, that's the one that I killed when it jumped at me.
I'm assuming since I'm a lot less picky about which parts of the raptor to eat.
Yeah,
Alright,
you've kind of
yeah.
taken whatever, and you're a bit used to carving up things like this, and Rust is more than used to carving up animals.
I asked the
Um,
group if we can join them.
Okay, so
Do
Oh,
that
bit of
here,
advice
I'll move.
when you be in character for things like that. It's not just like I ask her if we can join them. It's
I
say
go
what
on to
you
him.
say what you want. Like it's all.
I-
character.
I asked Matsi, because she's the one that's talking to the foreign dude. Ma'am, can we join your group? at least to get to safe haven where we can, get things needed?
Well, we're all out here in numbers, I suppose, is just the best idea. I don't mind it. However...
Sure, what are you doing around me?
Just let him... Rock's just gonna do what Rock does. Just leave him alone. Now...
Okay.
What is your name? I haven't even been formally introduced to you, and
I'm Cyrus Ashburn. And that heathen of a human that was with me, his name is Gathan.
Gethin.
I was introduced to Gethin, yes. He was polite enough to introduce himself whenever I was speaking with you guys, but I don't have an issue with it. Just keep your distance from me.
Will do. I'll be stepping away from you now.
While they're having their little chat, I'm sort of just walking around him, looking him up and down, poking him gently with my staff every now and then.
Okay. And Vertha kind of steps forward and sort of points off in a direction. Says, "Just to you, Matzi. Safety." And he kind of starts walking.
As he says that and starts walking, I leap onto the chest, point with my staff, and my cloak gloriously billows.
I tell the group...
I chuckle.
Vertha wants us to head in this direction, guys. We should probably go there.
I say a quick prayer over Dalton's grave and follow at the back of the group.
I'm
I
hanging
walk
out with
beside
Gathan.
Vertha
I walk at the same pace as Gathan.
and
He's the only
scream
one I
back
trust right now.
at Totsi. Totsi!
Oh,
Heal!
yeah, right, coming.
I'm sort of...
And as you guys depart the area, you can hear off in the distance, just very, very slight, but you know they're out.
We need to leave. As I said before.
I feel like you just want to keep playing that clip.
Maybe.
We need
A
to leave
couple
before the
of
others
couple
come.
hours pass as Vertha leads you guys off through the jungle.
Um,
And
while we're walking, for the first couple hour, I sort of look him up and down. Because you said he basically looks like a giant kobold to me, yeah?
Yeah.
In Draconic, I say, kobold? And sort of cock my head a little to the side while staring at him. The chest is right next to him, and I'm, a bit closer to eye level, because I'm up on top of the chest.
yeah, he kind of looks to you and just kind of cocks his head. He looks a bit confused.
He hears in his head, "What are you? I've never seen a kobold anything like as large as you."
And he kind of glances around the place, and then he remembers that you have done this already, and he just kind of says in Draconic, "We live in southern jungle. Fight with the cold ones."
Matzi hears this and kind of turns her head slightly, but just kind of shrugs it off.
As I'm saying stuff to him in his head, I'm talking in that Draconic dialect, so it sounds like I'm talking to him, and he's responding in normal Draconic.
Okay. Yeah. Alrighty.
What are the cold ones?
And he says, "Sons and daughter of serpent. Fight for the land, food, gods."
I have a feeling I know what that is out of character. Is there any chance my character does?
Roll a history check.
1. Please give it a 1.
You've heard maybe a couple of tales in amongst your kobold clan that there are other creatures out there that were kind of, blessed and created by other kind of reptilian deities, but you don't know anything specifically about them.
While we walk for the hour, can I keep looking for berries?
Roll another survival check.
Just figuring. There we go. I got a better number.
You find a handful more of these brightly colored red berries. You still don't know what they do.
Make med brews.
Eventually, as you guys make your way through the jungle, Vrock, Matzi, Ross, Tatsi, and Tess, and Snick, Snacks, and Snucks, you all kind of recognize the direction he's leading you to, and eventually you come out of the thicker layer of the jungle and you see before you, quite clearly, Nyanzara, its walls, people bustling around out in front of it. You're far enough away that no one can see you, but you are close enough that you can see the whole city and its activity.
Bertha.
You guys go in.
By the way, Corey,
I jumped down
you
off.
know,
Sorry.
I've seen you use healing magic, right, Corey?
Yes. You saw me give 5 points to how?
He saw,
Three,
you
what's
lay,
yours?
he saw you
Yeah.
lay a hand on Gethin and his wounds slowly heal over. He didn't
Yeah.
see you give him 5 hit points.
Fair enough. You saw me heal Gethin.
Okay. While we're walking, I come up to you and I say, my name is Ross. Ross. I'm sure you saw that I took quite a few hits from that raptor back there. I saw you heal that man. Could you do the same to me? I'm hurting.
I politely tell him that I need to sleep and get some of my energy back before I can. But we'll gladly after.
You had to tell him in character.
I am.
Just don't say like I'm telling him. Just say.
Sorry.
Don't say. Just skip that out. Yeah. That's right.
I need to get my energy back. It takes a lot out of me. But when I wake up, I will. I will search you out to heal you again.
I just look at him and go, understood. And I think I'm going to try and take matters into my own hands and try to maybe look around the jungle as we're walking for anything I could maybe use to heal myself.
Roll another survival check. Ooh, not bad. You recognize a couple of plants that share some of the same qualities, or visual qualities as some plants that you recognize from back home. Whether they heal you or not is a matter of experimentation, but from the looks of it and from the smell, you can tell that these things are probably not poisonous or could cause you any harm.
So, before we
Okay,
head...
I will gather these.
Okay.
When the city comes into view, I jump down off the box, flip the lid open, and then start pushing Tess towards the box.
What are you doing?
Points at city, points at box. Starts pushing you again.
I see this and I say to Tess, as my husband screams in the background, it's probably for the best. We need to keep you hidden, hon.
I know, but it's probably best if I don't go in the city at all. If the box opens for any reason, there's guards looking around for everything. They will open the box.
Clonk.
Why do you keep hitting me?
Push, push.
It's the best
What
chance
are
we
you
have.
people doing?
Our party's
Well, they're, Oh, go ahead.
our party's
It's a long
weak
story.
at the moment, and we need more supplies if we're gonna last out there.
Okay.
So, I take a time to step away from the party, and I kind of just look around and examine the area to see what kind of creatures are frequenting the outskirts of the town.
On the outskirts, nothing really. There's the ruined remains and corpses of some undead denizens that are just kind of rotting there in the sun. There's a few kind of smaller, a few smaller dinos kind of running around. You do see, you're not sure about it for a second, you see a rabbit with what looks to be the horn of a unicorn before it quickly ducks down to a burrow and disappears out of sight.
Can I look at the, can I do a roll, I don't know which roll it would be, to see the type of security it is around the city?
You've already passed through Nyanzara previously, but it's big city walls, guards from the look of it, lining the walls as well as by the gate. Not a lot of security beyond that. It seems like wanting to be. There's a few kind of slums and that sort of area just outside the walls, but for the most part, they're mostly left alone from the looks of it from here.
All right.
Do I observe the
Clonk.
slums?
You can see the slums, yeah.
Look over towards the slums
What
that
kind
are
of-
outside the walls, and I say to the group, maybe we can just stay there during our time here, and individually we can go into the city and leave us out there with part of the group. Keep away
Clonk.
from the guards.
Push,
Stop hitting me.
push. Clonk.
Fine, I'll get in the box. I look at everyone just
I'm
looking
just-
at me weirdly, just not.
Yeah, I'm just staring at you weirdly, just going, I don't know what's happening.
And I notice
I've gotten used to this by this point.
it's a long story. I'll tell you later. And I just hop in the box and just grab my rat from my pocket and just hug it, just patting it while they close the lid down on Tess.
Close the lid and I lock it this time.
So I
By the
go
way-
walking. Oh, go ahead.
What types of things did I pick up back there?
With the raptor?
No, the
Oh,
The
oh, right.
plant.
You find in particular a fern, which you got no idea what its name is or anything like that, but it's pretty much right down like a green fern with a blue stripe. And you get maybe about 3 of those.
So I go walking past the party towards the city. And I look at Cyrus and say, I have to find Commander Breakbone and return this pendant. Tell him of our losses.
As he strides off, I walk next to him and tell Snacks and Snugs to stay with the rest of the group. But I'm just walking confidently next to him, looking him up and down.
It's important to remember that if you do remember, unless you're in the box for a while, Cass, no.
There's air
Literally
holes.
doing nothing and not getting anything out of it. Okay.
If it's okay, yeah, a short rest, I would say. But
Yeah, I was going to do a long rest because 8 hours, but just enough to get 1 spell back. Just
sure.
to get.
I could just keep you in the box for 8 hours if you want a full rest.
No, I want to roleplay, man.
You do remember as well, Gethin, out of
Oh, that Breakbone is
he's at the
still
camp.
back at Camp Vengeance. So I'm looking for information about him and the camp.
Yeah. I suppose that's what you want to do. So what? You're striding off. See where you've spoken to Cyrus. Cyrus,
Yeah.
did you respond? Corey?
He's muted at the moment.
Corey's muted.
Sorry, what's up?
Were you paying attention?
Yes, he walked away with him, and there was somebody sleeping. Sorry, I got asked a question. Sorry, out of the game.
It's all good.
You want me to do it again?
Yeah, that's all.
So I go walking by Cyrus and I say, gonna go into town and find out information about Camp Vengeance. See if I can gather any information about the other patrols and find out information about Commander Breakbone.
Would you like me to come with you, or should I stay with these folks?
I think it's better if I go alone. I can cover more ground that way.
Are you sure? I don't necessarily think a human would be best for that task.
Fucking racist.
I don't really think you think humans are best for any task, so you can do what you want. I'm going.
Alright, just don't get hurt again.
And Bertha points to the city and says, "Safety. Here, you can prepare, if the jungle is truly where you wish to go."
And before, Tess is just going to be in the box for like the next couple of days.
Motsy
I kicked
turns
the
to
box.
You
Bertha.
open it up and it's a skeleton.
Turns to Bertha and
The rats
says,
are like nibbling off my core.
There is plenty of raw raptor meat in there for eat. Thank you.
Motsy turns to Bertha and says, Draconic, probably a good idea to head into the slums. We are running away from the bad man I was talking about, and I figure we could stay there while we go into the city and gather supplies to move onward from here, because we cannot stay here.
Who is the bad man?
I'm not entirely sure. I know that he was Tess's, points to the box and kind of shrugs a little bit. Master. We have to keep her hidden from him. He was a bad man.
His eyes kind of widen at this and he kind of gently knocks on the box. And in Draconic, so you can't understand it, but
Yeah, just
you were chained.
I
What does it
looked
say?
at. I looked at. Quickly transcended the common speech, and I say,
Okay, you basically just translate.
he's asking if you were enslaved, or he's inquiring about it.
I was in pain? Yes.
What was the name of your master again?
Ifan Talora.
I turn to Brock and I start kind of screeching at him in Draconic to open the box.
explain.
Brock's already wandered off with Gethin.
Okay, I turn to Snicksnack and Snooks and I scream in Draconic to open the box.
They look amongst each other, look back up at you and just go, "We're done listening, you."
Ifan Talora.
I chuckle and say it sounds like she's saying, "I can of blocks."
I kind of kick the box. Do I have to roll for something like this? Can I kick the... Like, can
What are you trying to do?
I don't know, I want to open it!
You can just open it.
I
It's
open...
locked. It's locked.
It's been locked.
With a
I-
padlock, or did Brock just have a latch on it?
From my understanding, it was just
Messages on
latched.
Discord.
Hmm?
CT.
Nice done.
I just like the fact that like
You give the box a little kick and Snack and they hear Tess going off inside and they just go, and they just they lower it down, open it up.
Ifan Talora.
I look at Bertha and I point at Tess and I say, Ifran Tolora.
Talora.
And in surprisingly good common, Bertha speaks, Ifan Talro. And you can see him kind of get
Yeah.
visually angry for a second.
You've
I-
heard the name?
I turn to Bertha and I say, what do you know about him?
And he kind of holds up his own hands or his own arms. And you can see along his wrists there's quite a considerable amount of scarring, which looks to have been from restraints, most likely chains or shackles. He holds me
force me to fight in arena like animal. I escape, and then the cold bloods found me.
I put a hand on Bertha, and cloak kind of swishes a little bit, and I stand close and I say, seems like you've had a troubled past with him. Now you know exactly who we're running from.
I tell him to get a.
I learned city ways before I was freed. A good man, Wakanga Otamu.
Wakanda.
Damn it, Cass.
For life.
Wakanga Otamu. He same ruler of city. He bought me, freed me. He is merchant prince too.
While that's happening,
What was that, Cass?
No, I would definitely know that name. Like he said the
you know the name.
I would-
Wakanga Otamu. He's one of the several merchant princes of Nyanzaru. Like to put it in perspective for you, as well as Marty and Tassi kind of know about this as well. You guys don't necessarily know the names, but the merchant princes are a collection of obviously merchants who are the ruling class of the city. They all share power. Ifan Talbroa is one of them, from your knowledge.
Could you send me that name, please, so I can
I
remember?
have numerous times.
No,
It's just
no, not
like-
Iflan, not Iflan. The other one, Wakanda.
Wakanga.
Wakanda. Wakanda.
Wakanda for life.
That's Wakanda forever.
Wakanda.
I tell
Wakanda.
I tell the group
Wakanda
that
forever.
I tell the group I'm going to look for lodge for us so that we can get out of the streets.
Me-
And Bertha kind of looks down at you, Tess, and just says, If I'm looking for you, we must just stay away from his men. The city guard will not care for us.
If you know...
What do the
I'm
city
speaking in
guards look like?
Draconic again. Can't understand him.
What
Oh,
is he
I thought
saying?
it was.
Unless you want to say, Marty, that you're just translating for everyone. It's
I'm
up to
just
you.
translating at this point.
Okay.
Well, I don't know of any place that was safe from his men. His men are everywhere in the city.
He gives off a small laugh. He like to think so.
Show me where.
There is place Wakanga take me for drink before I was freed. I can't remember where, but
What's the name of this place? I might know it. I know this city.
the Thundering Lizard.
Do I know what it is?
He died.
Okay, fucking hell. Damn it. I thought this is the only place I've never heard of.
And he kind of looks at Mushu. Stay in city. Get supplies. I will wait out here for when you are ready.
So,
Any room in the box, just saying.
What was that, Rock?
I'm already in the city.
Okay.
So, what do I see? What's around me?
In that case, we'll switch this up a little bit for you. So you're entering in through Malar's throat,
Mm-hmm.
and then you come, which is essentially the slum sort of area. You walk in amongst. It's pretty poor and desolate for the most part. But then as you get further in, just this.
I fucking love my journal.
Your journal.
I have like literally like names written down. Like I have like master, then I have bird person because I kept forgetting your name, so I just have bird person Ra, and then the other slave prince, the dragon guy, was slave to.
Okay,
Mine
you
is.
wander.
Oh, go on, go ahead. It's not important.
Once you wandered into the city, you pass.
Who is?
Please refrain.
I'm
Whoever's doing
sorry.
that.
Let's... Who's doing that?
Not me.
Doing what?
Scribbling
drawing on
all
the
over
map.
the map.
Was it me for once?
Was that Corey? That looks like his color.
Alright, so you wander into the city
Silent.
and pass
Oh,
through the
quick-
slums and into very rich, very vibrant town. You've passed through here before on your way through here to Camp Vengeance. You didn't spend very long here. You and a larger group of guardians, including Cyrus, had quickly made your way out of the city as well. And you are going. Are you with him as well, Vrock?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you wander in. You don't get the looks aren't directed at you, Gethin. They looked at the little dragon rat who's walking alongside you. And some people, no one really stops and stares, but everyone just kind of throws a glance at you where it's like, oh. A few people just going like, hey, you do not see that every day. And they kind of all wander past you. And yeah, so after entering through Malar's throat, you find yourself kind of in a minor sort of market area compared to the rest of the city that you've seen before.
As we pass into the market, I poke him in the leg, put my hand on my chest, and go, Brock!
To me? You poke me?
Yeah.
I look down at you and kind of quickly move my calf to push it back a little bit and ignore you and keep walking.
I poke him more insistently.
I
Looking up at you with my cute kobold eyes.
I grab you by the scruff of the neck and pull you up to my height. And say,
So at this point, I put my hand on his chest.
what do you want?
So sexual.
Sort of looks at you. No, that's not what I was going for at all. I sort of squint my eyes a little bit, look at him, take my hand off his chest, put my hand back on my chest. Frock!
Oh, it's like a Tarzan and Jane kind of bullshit.
Is that your name?
I'm working out. He's running it. I also then start to squirm.
I drop you back on the toss you back on the ground and keep walking. Slightly
This-
more annoying.
I sort of am considering blowing him up.
Okay. So what are you looking for? Where are you? What are you trying to do in the city, Gethin?
I am looking for information. So I need to go to a place that has information, which what I would assume would be a bar or something like that.
You're specifically looking for information on the Guardians?
Yeah.
From what you remember of the brief time you spent here in the city, you and Cyrus and a number of other Guardian recruits arrived via ship. And when you all pulled into the harbor, there was an individual, not a dragonborn individual, but from what you know, he's a half dragon, who appeared to be the one kind of directing everyone where to go, and he kind of knew from the look of all of you where you were going. But there's either him that you think of in the harbor, or there was someone, there was a particular member, or at least like a spokesperson for the Guardian presence in the city, Syndra Sylvain, who greeted you after you got off the boat. As for where she is, you haven't got much of an idea.
Also, for future reference, that sort of thing would be a contested check.
Of what, him being plucked up, or?
Him trying to pick me up.
Ah. Fair enough.
Yeah, it was funny. We'll allow it.
So I didn't say anything when it was happening. But Brock's not going to let it happen again.
Oh.
So wait,
Gonna
is
let
the
that
party
again.
split up right now, or are we all together?
Well,
Nah,
were you guys wanting to forward into the city, or are you
Well, am I in the box again? Because if so, then yes.
You don't have to be, but yeah. I suppose if you want to say that you jump back in the box.
Yeah, for safety's sake. If I come out, I have to quickly, like... Well, I don't have that much gold, but, like, try and buy a rag or something, put it over my head. Like, do, like, a mask kind of thing.
It's always the cloak.
Tatsi kind of takes off his own cloak and kind of hands it to you before you jump back in the box. Says, you know, might make things a little easier, and you're not really, you know, stuffed in there the whole time.
Okay, then. I might walk then. I don't want to be in the box.
So you
I
guys,
don't want to overwork these poor little creatures.
so you guys make your way into the city, and we'll say it wasn't too long after Gethin started making his way in as well. And you guys kind of watch as you guys catch up with him as he enters the city, just as he kind of drops Vrak back on the ground after it looked like he was just holding him like almost like a stray cat.
Why were you picking him up? No?
Gethin?
Ah?
Oh.
For you.
Why are you picking him up?
Oh, sorry. I got a message and I was not paying attention.
You should be so. No, good. Go on.
He poked me.
Hip does that a lot.
I wanted to know why. So I picked him up
You
and
get it?
asked him.
You won't get any sense out of him. He doesn't speak common.
Does he speak at all? It just sounds like gibberish.
It sounds like gibberish. I don't know.
What do you mean?
He reminds me of a little baby dragon.
Alright, and so as you all kind of stand there for a little bit, eventually, kind of not like a town crier, but it looks like an announcer of some kind walks by and says, "Remember, there is, for fuck's sake, shut up, Dad."
What are you doing?
Bring out your dad!
I just went, remember, and then he went something of September, and I was like, ah, goddammit.
Remember the November?
Yeah, he didn't say November though. He said September. But I know what 5th of November is. Anyway, and he says like, remember, there is presence in the old city is not mandatory, but another run of the executioner's run shall be happening today. There is much to see. There will be raptors in the pit, little mini raptors fighting various criminals. You should come see these men fight for their freedom. All bets are to be directed to the appropriate personnel at the executioner's run.
That is something we don't want to be around for.
I don't want to be involved with that. Should
I hope
definitely
the
not do that.
wolves are high enough in those pits.
Are they... Okay, so I'm imagining in the pits they're somewhat chained, so they can't get anywhere. Kind of like they have a loose lane. Oh, so they're actually free?
They just run. They run around.
Ooh.
It's
I
it's,
agree
it's,
with
it's a
that.
common enough. It's not common enough to a point where they would shut down the executioner's run, but it happens enough times where some people have made a name for themselves by, you know, assisting in situations where an animal's hopped out of the pit and run into the crowd.
Okay.
That's something we don't want to be around for.
I agree with the half-breed.
I have a name, you know.
Well, I haven't learned it yet. I know of what you said it, I just have not yet remembered it.
Sense not that make.
Looking back down at my scratch wounds, I look to Tess and say, agreed.
The guards are going to be looking out for any criminals that might be watching. It's not safe.
That is also true.
We need to get...
Tatsi kind of looks at most rest. She's like, "Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna go get a drink." He walks off.
I could do with a
He's
drink too.
minor.
Skay is. No, I don't think Tatsi is.
What?
When you created Tatsi, Skay, is he a minor or is he of age?
I mean, naturally.
So he is a minor. Okay, he's gonna try very hard to get a drink then.
That makes me a minor.
You're a few years older
Oh,
than, aren't you?
Oh,
We're
how does
twins.
it feel
They're
to be a
twins.
minor?
We're twins.
Oh, you're twin. Oh shit, you're actually.
I
straight
had
up
no
twins.
intention in the creation of that to be that young.
Oh. Okay. We can say you guys are of age at the very least. I mean,
He's
Oh, yeah,
mentally,
but
the fact
the-
that
the
Skay's
minimum,
not
the
really
Mentally a
minimum
minus
age for a
anymore,
lot of stuff
I
in
would
this
say that
world is
we're
a
of
bit
age.
higher. Yeah.
At
Okay.
least.
he's mentally a minor.
This is true.
There you go.
He wanders off and kind of waving as he goes, and you notice him just kind of his hand swipes out and just grabs a one or two little things off of a stall as he walks by. No one really seems to notice.
I just give Matzi a look.
Nazi rolls her eyes.
Could I?
Okay. So, what do you guys do now?
Gonna ask. I didn't catch the name of that you said of the spokesperson for the Guardians.
Oh, Syndra Sylvain.
All right. So I'm going to ask around for information on where.
On what, sorry? You cut out there.
I'm gonna ask around for information on how to find Syndra Sylvain.
Okay. Everyone else, what are you all doing?
This is a richer part of town, right?
Where you are, it's richer than the slums, but the richer part is more in the upper part of the town that you can see higher on the map up there. Oh wait, no, you're
I
not on the
don't
map.
look-
I'll put you on the map. You're pretty much in the middle class area. Like it's this whole area is pretty much either full of markets or is domestic area.
I go look for healing supplies.
Okay.
I pretty much just stay with Matzi. Because yeah, she.
Mossy stands back in the corner and observes the crowd moving around, and observes
I
that
look
Tess is
around.
with her.
I look
Matzi.
around the market area, see if any items either on the ground or anywhere catch my eye. Anything shiny, maybe.
For those who are, if okay, Matzi, I'll get you to roll a perception check, and both Gethin and Raz, I'll get you to roll investigation checks for your own things. And
Okay.
actually, we'll get an investigation check from Cyrus as well.
I feel like that. No.
I can't roll checks at all today.
Nope. Knock. Oh, Brother Matzi, you kind of look around. It's a crowd of people. There's nothing really too special about anyone walking by. No one in particular really catches your eye. They're all just kind of going about their day, really. Gethin, you kind of walk up to a bunch of random people and just kind of ask like Syndra Sylvain, and they either ignore you or they start like going off in Cholton, and they're like insisting that you buy something, and they'll tell you where she is. But you get the feeling that they're not really being very honest about that. Raz, well, depends on what catches you. Like, what are you looking for specifically?
Something shiny that my bird eyes would pick up on.
Sorry, repeat that. I had to just shut my door real quick.
Something shiny that glints in the sunlight. My eyes would pick up on.
There's a decent amount of cheap kind of jewelry stands around the place. Nothing that you can tell is of great value, but there's a bunch of stuff that shines. Maybe they're just kind of like very dull crystals or like some very polished glass ornaments. And as for you, Cyrus, you look around the area and you cannot find anywhere that would be selling healing stuff. You do get when you do ask a few people, one of them recommends for healing in particular. They recommend the sorry, what's the name of the temple? They recommend the temple of Savras up in the western part of the city. Alright.
What was the last word?
The Temple of Savras. It's in the western part of the city that they've recommended. Dog, stop opening the door.
Dodd, stop opening up my door.
Dog, what are you doing at his place? What is Dog opening your door for?
Dog, I don't know. Dog, stop opening my door.
I'm gonna head back to the group. So, just so you know where I am. Guys, I think we need to find a place to lay down and get some rest after that fight.
I agree.
Alrighty. Okay, so just as well for reference, the place that Vertha had mentioned was the Thundering Lizard as well.
Do we even know where the place... What was his name?
Vertha.
Vertha. Do we know where that place is? I don't. Have you guys ever heard of it? No one?
Matsi just continues to lean up against a wall and just shrugs.
Okay.
I don't think I have.
I'll get, if you guys are looking for that, go ahead and roll an investigation check.
All of us?
Yeah, I'll say one of you makes the check with advantage. With
Okay.
everyone else assisting them. Alright, you get a pretty clear idea of where it is, and you approach this this halfling fellow who's just kind of there on the ground drinking his hand. He goes, yeah, you head down the street a little that way, and you turn on the right, you turn on the left, you turn, you go on the what? Oh, no, there it is, and he points across the street behind you.
Thank you, sir.
And I'm assuming you guys enter.
Mhm. I really cover my face just in case, so like I have like just enough so my eyes are showing.
I'm a little bit in front of her to cover her from people looking directly at her face.
Before I enter, I've kind of been browsing the jewelry a bit. I look for the shiniest, most colorful piece, and I go and pick it up and try to bring it with me.
Make a sleight of hand check for the sake of it.
Get some natural
I
20.
like the fact. I like the 12.
You pick it up and you kind of go to walk off with it. Someone and a hand reaches it and grabs it and it's like, no, you pay. You pay.
Please bite them.
I pay? Right.
You've been introduced to this concept already.
I have a hard time picking it up.
He just kind of goes, no, you pay. You go before I call God. Go, shoot.
I
shaking my
leave
head at him.
confusedly. And I go join the party.
Let's say, for the sake of speeding a bit of this up, you all kind of reconvene. Unless Gatton, were you still out looking for the others or for info?
No, I'm retired with or followed the rest of them.
Okay. Oops. Just copy paste that. Vrock, are your retainers remaining outside, or are they coming in with you? Brock?
Raz.
Sorry, my mic was muted. They would have followed Tess and the others into the city and then just continued to follow me.
Okay. So the Thundering Lizard, it's from the outside, it doesn't look too bad. I mean, it looks clean for the most part, well kept. And you see out the front, there's tethered to the side of the building, like on a hitching post, is a rather large Triceratops, which has a lot of interesting smells kind of wafting off of it. And as you guys enter, you're met with a rather lively-looking environment.
Oh, it's an entire jungle inside.
I think some of you should be able to see.
No, I just see the velociraptors.
I see the
Oh
dead
shit!
raptor.
I dragged you on the wrong one. God damn it! There we go.
There we go.
It's an
See
entire
black.
jungle inside.
I see black.
All I
see
see is a
there's
black screen.
Black screen.
Oh, for fuck's sake, bloody.
I see it.
Well, aren't
Well,
you
that's
lucky?
I don't see it.
Get rid of
I
that.
see a little arrow. Oh,
There
we
we go. I know this bar. I've been here before. Previous D&D story. Don't worry.
No?
Not yours.
Okay. Huh?
I'm pretty sure either one of my friends in America used it for his, or...
Doubt it, because I made this from scratch.
Where have I been this before then?
I don't know. Anyhow, you'll enter into the building. We'll get. Where's the tavern stuff?
Okay, can I just have a fangirl moment? Can I?
Maybe.
There's my character! That's me!
Isn't this the bard?
Perhaps. So as you all enter the place, it's pretty lively, and you got people kind of gathered around some of the tables. As you enter, the man in the corner over here has a small little creature on the table who just kind of sticks his head up at you all as you
It's a
enter,
Jerboa.
and just kind of tilts its head. And you can watch as the fellow like kind of signs a book and hands it over to the person across, and it's like, "Oh, thank you." And wanders off, looking at it very excitedly back to their table. And I think, for some of the vibes I'm getting, we will probably, as you guys enter the Inn of the Thundering Lizard, the bard at the back, who some of you might recognize as Talon, strikes up a tune along with a couple of tabaxi minstrels on either side of him. And they kind of assist in either preparing the next instrument or keeping a harmony with a little hum and a purr from each of them. And I think that, for now, is where we will leave it. When we come back, you guys shall enter into the Thundering Lizard Tavern. And yes, Cass, that is your character.
I knew it! It's Mara!
Who?
What level is that character of yours?
4 or 5?
Raz, don't do it.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a question. This is bothering me. What are these things?